941-97.3. Packers taking on the New York Giants coming up on Sunday. All that Packers game day starting at 8 a.m. on the Game Radio Network. Kickoff with Wayne and Larry is set for noon at the Meadowlands. Joining us now, as he does on Friday at about this time, from ESPN Lacrosse, from the Wisconsin State Journal, also contributor for NBC 26. We welcome in Paul Brettel to the proceedings. Paul, appreciate the time. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us once again. So I guess after watching the game on Sunday, the Packers 10-7 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, I guess the million-dollar question is, how on earth do you get this offense unlocked?
I apologize. There's a brief cutout. Could you just repeat the question?
Yes, of course. After the 10-7 loss of the Green Bay Packers to the Philadelphia Eagles this past Monday night, how do you get this offense unlocked?
Gosh, that's the million-dollar question right now, isn't it? And in speaking with LaFleur, several of the players in the locker room, it all comes back to the run game. I mean, that is really where it all starts right now. The book seems to be out, I think, on how to defend the Green Bay Packers offense. And Carolina, it's part of their bread and butter defense, Philadelphia as well. But we've seen Pittsburgh deploy it. We've seen Arizona deploy it, where it's the shell coverages, right? Safeties deep, take away the big play, and you force the opponent to plot their way down the football field. The problem with the Packers right now with that is, one, they are too mistake prone to do that. It's tough to put together 10, 12 play drives when there's penalties, when there's quarterback pressures, drop passes. But in addition to that, the way to get the defense to break away from that shell look is to run the ball successfully. Every defensive scheme, every offensive scheme has its pros and cons, right? Well, one of the cons for a defense when they're in that coverage look is you should be susceptible against the run. However, the Packers are not taking advantage of those looks. So defenses don't have to break away from those too high looks and bring defenders closer to the line of scrimmage. They can just sit back, protect against the deep play, let the Packers pick up 2, 3, maybe if it's a good running play, 4 yards on a carry, play from behind the sticks, and have to get back on track and plot their way down the football field. It's just this very vicious cycle right now for Green Bay. And not to say that there aren't, right, some schematic changes that could be made in the passing game to try to exploit that two safety look, maybe some more underneath throws, some throws to the flat, things like that, just to pick up positive yards. But ultimately, this comes down to getting the run game going. And that's where success has to begin for this Green Bay Packers offense if they're going to get out of this rut and stay out of it. Because, right, that if step one's getting out of it, step two is making sure you don't go back.
Aaron Banks blocking somebody would help too.
Yeah, the offensive line play has been, obviously that's a big part of those issues, and Aaron Banks has had his struggles, but I think more so is that on every play that goes wrong, I should say, it seems to be someone different, right? I feel like this would be an easier thing to fix if it was just Aaron Banks at left guard or just Jordan Morgan at right guard that was struggling, but it feels like on any play that goes wrong, blame is kind of being passed around, right? Someone didn't execute a block, and then on the next time a run doesn't go anywhere, it's another player who didn't do that, or it's a penalty on one of the wide receivers, so now the offense is behind the sticks and in a predictable passing situation. I think that just adds to the challenge for this Packers offense is, yes, you have to get the run game going, but there's a number of different players, a number of different things that are contributing to those run game issues. And of course, when blame bounces from one person to the next, it's obviously difficult to hone in on what exactly to fix, because the issue from a series to a quarter to a game seems to be different each time.
Paul, how does this offense adapt without Tucker Kraft? I think just in general, it's looked different this year than it has in previous Matt LaFleur offenses, less jet motions than we've seen. But how is this going to adapt without Tucker Kraft? Luke Musgrave is not the same player. He's not going to be able to do the same inline blocking that the Tucker Kraft did. Where do they go from here at the tight end position? Or is this just more of a wide receiver dependent offense when they need to go down the field?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think from the tight end perspective, and we saw this past week, it's going to be a group effort. Luke Musgrave shouldered the tight end responsibility in terms of snap counts, as you'd expect, but John Fitzpatrick saw some snaps. Even Josh Wiley was out there in specific situations, right? They each have their own individual strengths to their game. They don't each bring the well-rounded skill set that Tucker Kraft does, where you can do a little bit of everything, but you have different players who can handle different responsibilities at different times given the situation. And so that's a positive. I think one of the challenges with that, though, is if you're the Packers, you obviously do not want to become predictable. And Luke Musgrave is going to operate right both in the pass game as a blocker. Same for John Fitzpatrick. Their responsibilities are going to overlap with those duties. But like I said, each of them has a very specific skill set. Luke Musgrave is a downfield presence at the position. John Fitzpatrick is a blocking presence at the position. And what you don't want defenses to do is start to get a beat on what might be coming. Like if Luke Musgrave is in the game in line, are you then as a defense thinking, all right, it's more so a passing play, but if he's blocking, that's fine because we're not worried about that aspect of his game. If John Fitzpatrick's in the game, are you more prepared for a run? And then if he goes out and runs a route, you're not as concerned about him impacting the passing play. I think that's one of the big challenges right now for Matt LaFleur. How do you maintain some semblance of unpredictability? Because wherever Tucker Kraft was, you didn't know what was coming because he could do so many different things. And I think part of that equation, right, how do you maintain that unpredictability is you have to look outside the tight end position. I said this last week, but I was expecting, and obviously there's still time for this to happen, but I was expecting moving forward for Matthew Golden, who is back at practice this week after missing last week's game, to maybe take on a larger role in terms of just opportunities coming his way, because Musgrave, Fitzpatrick, they can't recreate that yak element that Tucker Kraft brought. But I think Matthew Golden would be excellent in that situation. So if you're Matt LaFleur, how do you get the ball in Matthew Golden's hands? Maybe there's less deeper routes that he's asked to run, fewer intermediate routes that he's asked to run, especially with having Christian Watson back. And now it's, all right, how do we get him the ball in a quick slant? How do we get him the ball in the underneath route so we can just let him get in space, do what he does best, and then our offense still has that yak element to account for?
You were talking about predictability versus unpredictability. How, I guess, important is that, or how much in focus is that now when you hear about the Eagles calling out that 4th and 1 inside zone rush to Josh Jacobs with the game on the line on Monday night?
Yeah, I mean, I think our interpretation of that from the outside is vastly different than on the inside, because LaFleur mentioned this. I think it was Sean Ryan as well this week said it is like, this happens over the course of games. This wasn't the first time where, the opponent maybe has an idea of what's coming. But what it comes down to is being able to execute. I think it was Sean Ryan who said, even if the opponent knows a running play is coming, we still have to execute our job at a high enough level that doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter who you talk to, coaches or players. That's what all this comes back to. I mean, when at the start of this, when we were talking about the run game, it's execution. I mean, everyone, coaches, players, like I said, continue to harp on that. And it's just not there, right? It's the details, the fundamentals, the technique, whatever it may be, all the above. One player not executing, then another not doing it. That's the part of this that has to improve. And so, of course, as an offense, you're always trying to do your best, right, with game planning to catch the opponent off guard. But I think that unpredictability element of it, or the predictability component of it right now, I think the Packers are, my interpretation anyway, seem to be less concerned, because right now it's about, hey, we have to go and execute and do our jobs, and we're not even doing that aspect of it.
Paul, my biggest concern is the Packers O-line, just where it's at right now. 1B, biggest concern is the Packers cornerback room. Do the Packers have enough at the cornerback position right now to make a run in the playoffs, to the NFC Championship game, and possibly the Super Bowl? Because in previous years, just thinking back to 2010, it was a deeper room for sure, but the safety position is pretty good there as well with the Packers. So,
yeah, I think if healthy, I think the Packers are very comfortable with who they have, right? Like even last week, you have Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine. Like if those are your two starters and you know they're going to be out there for the full game, I think the Packers are okay with having those two out there. And then getting Nate Hobbs back in the mix, hopefully in a few weeks once he returns from injury. There's the Packers struggled at times this season, right, defending the quick passing game, but this group has done an excellent job of not allowing big plays down the field. And so I think there's a confidence with that group. Now, to your point, where the concern enters the equation, especially with Hobbs not in the mix right now, if Nixon or Valentine had to exit the game at any point, you're now relying on Bo Melton, who was working with the offense, at least when we were on at practice yesterday during warmups, and Kamal Hadden. Those are your two backups, and neither of those players have any regular season defensive snaps under their belt. So the depth of this group is very much a concern. But like I said, I think the play that they are getting from Valentine, from Nixon, I think the Packers are confident in that. And you mentioned having Xavier McKinney and just that safety group, and then there's that pass rush. I mean, that Micah Parsons in that group has had a tremendous impact on the play of the cornerback position, because quarterbacks have to get the ball out quickly. Like, that is helping the cornerback. So I think the collective defense that the Packers have is obviously assisting the cornerback play. The Packers are comfortable with who they have at that position. So I think as is, they're fine. But again, if an injury strikes, we have some major question marks there.
Final thing for you, Paul, the Packers taking on the Giants coming up on Sunday. How much of a danger is the whole wounded animal aspect of it when you consider the Giants and what they've gone through this year?
Yeah, I love that question. So for the State Journal today, I always highlight, all right, what are my kind of 3 things to watch for? And the third one was, are the Giants going to benefit from that post-firing bump? So I dug in on some of the numbers. Since 2000, in that first game for teams who have fired their coach, they are 20-29 in those games. Since 2018, those teams who fired their coach are 9-10 in that first game after. And Josh Jacobs, he's been a part of that. When he was with the Las Vegas Raiders in 2021, they fired their coach. Rich Bisaccia actually took over as the interim. The Raiders finished that season 7-5. Now, obviously, that's an outlier outcome for the Raiders in that situation. But Jacobs did say, as a player in that situation, it's almost like there's a fresh start, and you want to go out there and give everything you have for the new interim head coach. There's going to be some unscouted looks that interim coaches might end up being more aggressive than how that team normally played, just because there's less to lose, so to speak, at this point in the season. So the Giants are 2-8, but the Packers might not be getting on Sunday a team who's playing that way, right? Just cited all the reasons why, but you also look at the pass rush that this group has on the defensive side of the ball. The Packers have their unknowns on the offensive line. So like any week in the NFL, regardless of the record, there's always things that you can point to and say, hey, we got to watch out for that. And the Packers certainly need to be doing that, especially with them having their own struggles right now offensively and putting up points.
Paul, we appreciate the time and the insight so much. We'll check back in with you next week, and hopefully we'll be talking about the Packers in a get-right game against the Giants as opposed to what's wrong with the offense, because that's a lot more fun to talk about.
For sure. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Paul. There he goes, Paul Brettel, joining us from ESPN Lacrosse, also the Wisconsin State Journal and NBC 26 on the Packers beat. Coming up next, we'll go on the Badgers hockey beat. Brian Posick, the voice of the men's hockey team, the number 7th ranked in the country Wisconsin Badgers men's hockey team. It's coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. DND, Doug, Nick, and Dave without Nick or Dave. Letty's here, though. I'm here. I'm back. Stay with us.
You sound good.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. He did it again.
The 2025 National League Manager of the Year, once again, is Pat Murphy. Congratulations, Murph.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy is the NL Manager of the Year for the 2nd straight season.
I think it's a statement for the Milwaukee Brewers, from ownership to the Ivory Tower to our coaching staff. It's an organizational award, and I'm very pleased to be part of this organization.
He's one of just 4 managers in baseball history to win the award in back-to-back seasons.
I got a little pocket pancake right here. They're wonderful. You want some?
Congratulations, Murph, from all of us at The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number 1s, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the U.S. And in December, the single Taking Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a number 1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the number 4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to number 9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to number 12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the number 1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of 75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to number 1 in the US and the UK.
What have we found? Same old fear. Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
Saving energy saves you money. Whether you switch to Energy Star light bulbs, install Energy Star windows, or add extra insulation. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
All right, coming up tonight, at the Kohl Center in Madison. The number 7 in the country, Badgers men's hockey team, they will be taking on Ohio State. They are not ranked, but they are just outside of the rankings. 26th, if you will. They're that first team with, others receiving votes, if you will. Still to come later on, about an hour from now, we'll check in with the voice of the Badgers men's basketball team as well as the football team. Matt LePay will join us. Also, we'll hear from a couple of Packers, Xavier McKinney, as well as Josh Jacobs at their lockers earlier this week. And also, Matt LaFleur is going to meet the media live in about 15 minutes or so. We will be, at least when he's scheduled to talk, we'll be in a commercial break, so we'll delay it briefly. And then we like to place the over-under on exactly how long Matt LaFleur goes on his Friday news conference. He's been going at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds or so.
Interesting, 420.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's an average.
Okay.
That's not a...
Drew and KB are
that's not a tribute to Drew and KB, but they don't tell them that.
Too late. They already know.
Yeah, that's true. I used to set the over-under when there were fewer injuries because Friday's basically the injury report.
Mm-hmm.
So the Friday injury report generally before everybody started getting injured was about 3 minutes and give or take like 3:35, but they've gotten a little bit longer now, just a little bit.
I'll go over.
Okay.
I feel like there's a extra question or two or
maybe. So you're going over, I'm setting it over under 420.
Now, this includes the questions from the media or his it'll start with the first question that comes out of usually Bill Huber's mouth. And then right when Jason Waller says, all right, does that do it? That's when you cut it off. Okay. I'll get the stopwatch ready.
Okay. Joining us on the program right now, he is the voice of the Wisconsin men's hockey team, the number 7 in the country, 7th ranked. I'll get the vernacular down. It's been a week. I'm still a little bit cloudy in the head. Brian Posick joining us on the program. Brian, how are you today?
I'm good, and so am I. After filling in for you Monday and Tuesday, I just can't get my clock all set again. You messed me up, Doug.
I'm
Thanks
sorry.
Hey, you were talking. I'm going to go with the over on LaFleur today because he seemed to be much more receptive to speak after what happened on Monday night. And sitting through a Bo Ryan press conference on a Monday, that the over under there was anywhere from 45 to 48 minutes. And so love Bo to death. Dick Bennett was similar, but for different reasons. Bo just liked to talk, and it was actually, it's entertaining listening to some of his stories. Then you forget, what is the storyline this week? So
I remember a few years ago, I think you probably were in the room if I'm not mistaken, but we asked Mark Johnson because it was coming up on an anniversary of the Do You Believe in Miracles team, and somebody, and I forget who it was, asked him a question about it, and he went about 9 minutes.
Oh, yeah. No, he's great. He's great. He and I had a speaking engagement down in Janesville a week ago Wednesday for Forward Janesville. They had opened a brand new facility, the Woodman's Sports and Convention Center. It houses rinks for youth hockey, but also basketball, volleyball, and other things. And it's right off of, Highway 26, I think it is. Right when you get off the highway as you're heading to Rockford, right?
Sure.
It's a beautiful building. And so Mark and I did about an hour Q&A in front of 750 business people and bigwigs down in Janesville, and he was fantastic. He's so unassuming, but when he gets in that setting, he's very charismatic. He tells fantastic stories, not just from the Miracle on Ice, but throughout his career and just in life in general. He's a treat. Mark is truly a treat.
He absolutely
and it's
is.
coming up on 46 years. 46 years, believe it or not, in February.
Oh yeah. Golly, what a time!
Yeah.
Time does fly.
Yeah. Isn't
Well,
that amazing?
listen, I say it was a 9-minute answer. It was the most riveting 9-minute answer I've ever sat through in my entire life. It was. Mark, please continue on. Keep going. It was
Correct.
awesome.
Correct.
I
agree. I interview him every Monday for our radio show during the week, and you sit there for half an hour, and can we do the interview now? And, about an hour 15 later, you're out. No, Mark is a treat, and he's going to coach as long as he feels comfortable with it. A lot of people keep asking me how much longer does he have, and he's so good at what he does, and he loves what he does. And there'll be a time, but let's just enjoy what we have right now.
Maybe.
And actually, you look at the Packers. I mean, everybody. Oh my God, the talk this week, Doug, about coaching changes and Hafley going here. Do you try to keep Hafley and blah blah blah? It's like, did we forget what Matt LaFleur has done over the last 8-9 years? And secondly, the offense, which we had designated to revolve around Tucker Kraft, no longer has Tucker Kraft. You don't have Golden, you don't have Reed. Dobbs is out now. The offensive line is a mess. And let's get rid of the guy. Be careful what you wish for, and that's my opinion. This is crazy times when it comes to managers and head coaches in all sports, professionally and collegiately too, for that matter. And let's just settle down, people. Good golly.
I think especially collegiately when you see what's going on in college football right now, whether it's at LSU or Florida or Penn State or any of these places that have decided they're going to jettison their guy.
And it trickled in college basketball last year too. I mean, it's nuts. It's there's still half the season to play for good God. So let's go.
Yeah, and I know Chris McIntosh has taken some hits for the Luke Fickell thing, but number one, that was a grand slam when it happened. And oh, by the way, the Mike Hastings thing has turned out pretty well. 3-time National Coach of the Year, and right now they're ranked 7th in the country.
Yeah, they've moved up quite a bit. Last year for Mike, it was his first losing season in 25 years as a head coach. That was on the heels of a 26-win season in his first year at Wisconsin. Now, I mean, you look at how they're playing. They lost once in 10 games, and they went to Michigan last weekend. And a lot of people, we were all talking about how this was a litmus test for this hockey team. And Michigan was ranked 2nd in the country, averaging 5.5 goals per game, had the top-ranked power play. in the country. Now, Michigan won on Friday, certainly so, and Wisconsin had the lead twice, including they were up with 10 minutes to play and made a couple of mistakes. And boom, against Michigan, more so really than, in my opinion, Michigan and Penn State, they can score really quickly in 1-2 minute fashion, and all of a sudden the game turns on its heels. And that's what happened on Friday. And 7-4 was the final, but Michigan had a couple of empty net goals, so it was a 1-goal game all the way through. So then Saturday, Wisco comes out and played its best game of the year. Took a 2-0 lead after one, had a couple of power play goals, set the tone immediately. Defended better, more physical than Michigan, had them on their heels, and by the end of the game, the Wolverines were so upset and embarrassed that they started getting chippy, and one of their players took a run from right off the bench at one of Wisconsin's players, and it started a little bit of a melee near the end of the game, kind of old school hockey type thing where the 5 players or 5 skaters for each team on the ice were paired off. The goalies didn't go at it, which would have been fun, but that didn't happen. Nevertheless, it was they put Michigan in its place, and now the Badgers are home to play an Ohio State team that last year ended their season in the Big Ten tournament. The year before knocked them out of the Big Ten tournament, and the Badgers had to wait 18 days for the NCAA tournament and lost in overtime to Quinnipiac. Ohio State's been just a thorn in Wisconsin's side over the years, so we'll see how this all squares out tonight and tomorrow night at the Kohl Center.
Brian, it's got to be quite the journey to get to the Frozen Four. The Badgers haven't been there since 2010. They last won it in 2006. By the way, I had family there. They were having a good old time at that 2006.
I was there. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time.
They had the paper. I went to go pick them up because I was of driving age, but not of drinking age. And I went to go pick them up, and they had the paper hockey helmets on. That's all I remember them. And they were very, very excited. Does this team have what it takes? Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, does this team have what it takes to get to the Frozen Four?
I don't. We're 10 games in.
Right.
You look at. Let's just kind of break it down. I mean, for any hockey team, it starts with goaltending, and most coaches will tell you that. And Wisconsin has a freshman in Daniel Hauser who's been really good. On Friday against Michigan, he gave up 5 goals, one of which he turned the puck over behind the net, and they basically had a slam dunk, and an embarrassing play for a goaltender. Well, he came back and made 2 big stops immediately after that. And while Michigan still was able to score 5 goals, the last 2 they scored certainly weren't Hauser's fault. Then he bounces back the next day. Wisconsin gets on the board first with a power play goal, and then Michigan gets a power play. And again, they're the top-ranked power play team in the country, and they can wing it around. And he made a couple of huge stops on that penalty kill in the first period. Then Wisco gets a power play goal. It's 2-0, and that's where Wisconsin was in control after that. So Hauser has been outstanding. So you feel right now that you have a goaltender that can win a lot of games for you. Their defensive core is strong, although they have illness on the back end. And we're not going to see a couple of the defensemen tonight or tomorrow night against Ohio State. Up front, they're scoring more than they did a year ago. They're averaging over 4 goals a game, top 5 in the country. They scored 10 in 2 games against Michigan, which at the time was only giving up a goal and a half a game. So this team offensively is better than it was a year ago. So you look at all those. Plus, they have the number 1 power play in the country, and the penalty kill is up near 86-87%. So through 10 games, sure, they look like they're ranked 7th. So a regional final, if you kind of go through the old go through the map as of right now, they'd be in a regional final with a chance to get to the Frozen Four. But there's a lot of hockey left to be played. Health, injuries, all of that play a key factor. But you got to like where they're at right now, and they're fun to watch. They score a lot. They hit. It's been entertaining. It's been very entertaining.
What's the number 1 key, in your opinion, to special teams? Because Wisconsin right now, their conversion rate of 35.6%. I mean, they've got 16 goals. That's 3rd in the country. They've been really good at that as well. You talk about Michigan. Wisconsin's been right there with them.
Oh, in fact, they scored 4 power play goals against Michigan last week, and they won the special teams battle. So, the quarterback is Ben Dexheimer, and he's a senior, a fourth-year senior. And what he's done at that position, so he's running the point. He's out near the blue line. Sometimes he'll fade down to the left or right wing, but he is shooting the puck more, which means you're getting the puck closer to the net, which means ricochets, rebounds, whatever the case may be. And Wisconsin's finding ways by getting the puck to the net. And if it doesn't go in, Wisconsin's done a nice job of retrieving the puck and getting it out to the flanks or the goal line or whatever, and then finding ways to score where the penalty killers are out of position. So it starts with a quarterback, Ben Dexheimer. Their second unit is Logan Hensler. He runs that, and he's a first-round pick of the Ottawa Senators. So both power play units have been effective because of the guys that are running the show up top.
Ryan Posick joining us here for just a couple more minutes. It's the Badgers taking on Ohio State tonight at the Kohl Center. What's your game day like? I mean, Luddy was telling me that you were running around looking for a parking spot. Do you spend all day at the arena today? What's that all about?
No. Today, I'm down in Waukesha. I actually went and saw my folks. It's the only day I had off
God's country
this week to go down and take care of a few things, and so heading back. But I was up this morning and looking over notes like I was last night, and I do it every day, just going over things so that when I get on the air tonight, it'll be 6:30. I'm prepared and ready to go. On the road, I'm with the team, so you eat with them, you go to their pregame skate, you take a look at things, talk with players and coaches and stuff. But I've been doing that all week long here. So Fridays, usually I just kind of relax, play with my dog, check off whatever my wife, Lynn, has on her list so that I stay in good standing there. And then, get to the rink today, 4:15, 4:30 or so and get going. So
and we'll listen.
It's fun, especially right now. It's beautiful. It's like 60 degrees and sunny. I should be golfing is what I should be doing.
That's what you should be doing. No doubt about that. Instead of talking to on the radio.
You can get 9 in, Brian. You got 9.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. I could get 9 in. Yeah. And if I hit 2 balls on each hole, I can get 18 in.
That's innovative.
Go on down to Moore Downs as long as you're in Waukesha. Just go over and hit the links.
Oh, the first course I ever played in Waukesha. That's
Same.
where I'm from. Oh yeah. Moore Downs, awesome,
Yep.
awesome place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Brian, we'll listen for you tonight,
Yeah.
6:30 on 1310 WIBA in Madison, and we'll check back in with you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. See you later.
All right, there he goes. He's the best. Brian Posick joining us on the Badgers hockey beat, number 7 in the country. They're fun.
You'll also
They're
hear him on the
fun to watch.
Packers preview.
You also hear him on Packers preview as well, as he goes back in time and takes a look at a historical matchup that the Packers.
He doesn't
and
care if the
their
Packers
opinions
lost the game, played terribly, and won at the end. Like he finds some good ones, some gems, whether
He does.
whether the audience thinks that that's the best game or not. And I love that.
I love that too, because sometimes he'll ask, because I get him the highlights, which reminds me, I still have to get him a couple of highlights from
Come
a
on,
couple of
dog.
games coming up. So that's a good reminder. Every once in a while he'll ask for a loss, and I'm like, that's curious. But the way he spins it and turns it into
He
a great
does.
story is fantastic.
Exactly.
So love hearing everything that Brian does, especially hockey, which is coming up tonight, 1310 WIBA pregame starting at 6:30. The puck drops at 7. Stay with us. It's DND on the game.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up this week, a big NFC battle when the 7-2 Eagles host Jared Goff and the 6-3 Lions. Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia are on a 3-game winning streak, including a tough road victory at the Packers on Monday. Ross Tucker and I have the call. Lions at the Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
Catch the game on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and 1070 The Game in Madison.
Here are the top Fleetwood Mac songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Don't Stop. Number 2, Dreams. number one. Go your own way. Hear more from Fleetwood Mac and similar artists now. Search for Fleetwood Mac on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Looking back at the world of sports, it's the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What's happening, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West, and I'm here to take you on a journey back to this week in sports history. We'll start off in 1914. Babe Ruth makes his MLB debut, pitching a 4-3 Boston Red Sox win over the Cleveland Naps at Fenway Park. This week in 1934, Carl Hubble strikes out Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin in succession. But the American League comes back to win the All-Star Game 9-7 at the Polo Grounds. Staying in baseball, this week in 1955, St. Louis's Stan Musial hit Frank Sullivan's first pitch of the 12th inning for a home run to give the National League All-Star team a 6-5 victory over the American League at Milwaukee's County Stadium. The American League had led 5-0 after 6 innings. This week in 1972, Robert Irsay buys the stock of the LA Rams for $19 million and swaps the franchise for the Baltimore Colts. The players and coaches are not affected. This week in 1999, Team USA wins the Women's World Cup over China in sudden death. The Americans win 5-4 in penalty kicks, with defender Brandi Chastain kicking the game winner. Play ball! And this week in 2010, Brian McCann's 3-run double in the 7th inning provided the National League all the offense it needed to capture its first Midsummer Classic since 1996 with a 3-1 victory.
And that's just some of what happened this week in sports history. The Weekend Sports Time Capsule on iHeartRadio.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number one in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number one in the U.K., it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their third album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of 78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Are you still the same?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to get a feel for when it all began for him musically.
I was about 10 years old. I was given a Spanish guitar for Christmas. And so, I wanted a drum kit, but I ended up getting a Spanish guitar. And I guess the things sort of just turned around from then.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the game.
Hour number 2 of DND. Back on the air, Doug, Nick, and Dave. Dave will join us in an hour. Nick was out the first hour, but he now joins us live from Madison. Hello, Nick.
Hello, everybody. Yes, and I did, in fact, make it to and complete my dentist appointment this morning. I know that there was some concern yesterday that I could be essentially stood up again. I tell you, a whole different company and a lot better vibes. So feeling good, feeling clean. Yeah, I'd gone about 9 months, which for me, I'm a little neurotic about my teeth. I'm very much on top of it. Okay. So it was a long time between cleanings for your boy.
Teeth are important. They say that it's the one thing that will go away if you ignore it.
That's right. And they told me I'm doing a great job. I maybe I have some bias there. Maybe I like going to the dentist. Oh, yeah. Because they tell me the whole time how great I am.
Oh,
So
well, all you need is that affirmation.
Inflates my ego. I walk in and they're like, "Oh my God, great set of teeth." I'm like, "Thank you."
That's what you need.
Look, you floss every night. You mouthwash every night. Do you brush? Yeah, twice a day.
There you go.
My goodness.
See, that's why it's important that you missed the first hour of the show so you could go in and get the adoration that you and your teeth deserve.
That's right. I am sad to have missed a couple of great guests, but I know they were in good hands with you guys. Posick coming on prior to me. Caught the tail end of that. We love Pose. We love the hockey teams around here, and they're doing a hell of a job on the ice this season.
They're fun to watch, without a doubt. And, when you've got Paul Brown doing one game and then Brian Posick doing the other,
spoiled.
Yeah, totally spoiled. Absolutely. And Matt LePay will join us later on this hour, spoiled on the men's basketball side, as well as on the football side during the broadcasts as well. So a number of things I want to get to in this hour of the program. I want to hear from Xavier McKinney coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, we set the over-under. I set it at 4 minutes and 20 seconds for the Friday news conference. So we have the Matt LaFleur press conference, which happened, I think it wrapped up about 3 or 4 minutes ago, but because of the way that the clocks are, I don't feel like I need to over-explain how radio clocks sometimes work, and they're not always advantageous in taking everything as live as we can possibly take it. So I've got my timer in front of me. I'm just using my phone. So let's see, over or under, Nick Bruzewitz? For 4 minutes. Over 4 minutes and 20 seconds, and then
I already said over. I'm sticking with it.
I'm going to go under.
Okay.
I'm going to go under. All
Good
right,
strategy.
Nick, it's in your hands. Why don't you go ahead and hit Matt LaFleur from a couple minutes ago?
In a very limited fashion, he did a little bit, and we'll see how he's feeling today, and that'll determine just how much he does out there.
Is it a pretty tall order for a guy to basically practice twice after a month layoff to get back out there?
Yeah, but I think he's been doing things in the return to play process. Yeah, certainly you'd like to have more practices under his belt, but if he feels like he can go, then we'll put him out there.
Giants got a bunch of injury problems. Apparently, West said that Thibodeau is not going to play among some other guys. I don't know if that matters to you a whole lot, but be a little less angst with some others.
I mean, no, not at all. I think it's more, as you guys have seen, I mean, we have to take care of our own problems, our own business. And it's less about the opponent. It's more about like what we have to do to show improvement. And that's always the mindset. And, hopefully I think we've had a couple good days of practice, a good days of work. And now it's up to us to go out there and perform.
Josh kind of said the same thing yesterday. Is that been your message all week? Is just about us part of it?
I think that's the message every week. So I'm glad they're listening.
What have you seen at cornerback from Had and Melton in that regard, just because there would be next guys up if needed right now? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both those guys have shown a tremendous amount of growth. Kamal certainly he's been practicing better. He's been a challenge to go against when he's given us looks on the show team. And then when he gets his ops with the defense, he's been doing a great job. And then same with Bo, and Bo's kind of been, double duty out there. So, but two guys that I think have shown a lot of growth over the course of the season. And, if need be, and they need to go in there, we have a lot of confidence in them.
With Bo, where he's at in the meeting rooms, like throughout this week, has that changed at all?
That's always the challenge. That's why it's amazing to me if you ever see somebody that can do both. There's a level of detail that you need to cover within, whether you're playing corner, it doesn't matter what position, corner, receiver, it doesn't matter. But it takes a lot of time to get to that level of detail. Watching the tape, understanding the calls, there's adjustments. And so typically you need all that time devoted to one side of the ball. So it's pretty remarkable, I think, what he's been able to do. Now, granted, he's had a couple years at the receiver spot. So he's got I would say he's well-versed in our system. that has allowed us a little bit of that flexibility. Just Hobbs.
With Carrington, how can you kind of see him step up and now being able to kind of be in that role, snap after snap, and definitely just kind of building, some of his comfort there?
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job, and it's not shocking to me. You talk about just the habits in practice, how important they are. Even we filmed some of our walkthroughs and just how intentional he is about playing the right technique, making sure his eyes are on his assignments. He does a great job with that, shadowing people, visualizing, making plays, and then he goes out there on the practice field and does the same thing. So it's not really surprising to me that that's been able to translate to Sundays.
Man, Jeff comes in here every week, and it doesn't matter if they gave him 40 points or 10, he has that same type of personality and upbeat. Just what have been your observations of him and how he has handled just the day-to-day?
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud. I can't say enough great things about him. We're fortunate to have him. He's a great mind. Like you mentioned, he's a great person, first and foremost, which is absolutely paramount if you want to be here. But he's super consistent in what he does. He holds a high standard, and he's a great football mind.
Obviously, going through a little rough patch here, but every team's done it. You've had some times too. Never mind the schematic part of it, but what's the key to turning around? You did it in 23, 22, and a couple other times as well.
Yeah, I think it's just, staying the course, and, you got to try to block everything out and really focus on you. And there's as much mindset and mentality to this as anything. And then I think the confidence comes from knowing you put in the work, and that's what our guys have handled this week, and that's what we've done. And so ultimately, like I said before, we got to go out and do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
5 minutes and 5 seconds. All right. So he went a little bit over. You boys are right. I was wrong. Matt LaFleur going just a little bit longer than perhaps he has done. Ryan Posick was right as well. He took the over. So I'm the only
Smart
one.
man.
I'm the only one who
Life's
did
too
not.
short to not take the over, Doug.
Well, I mean, that's a philosophy, I suppose.
I don't bet.
Well, what's the line here? I mean, how long is life supposed to be? I mean, I need to know what I'm taking the over on.
I put, I
4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, in this case, yes, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I put my life
75 and a half years.
I put mine at 105. I got things to do. I got places to go.
Are you moving to Arizona?
I don't know. It's, I would say retirement, but when is that?
You and Robin Yount going to be neighbors?
Don't even joke about that. Could you imagine? I pull up and Robin Yount is my neighbor. Oh my God.
Riding in on his motorcycle.
Sure. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I want to hear from Xavier McKinney, Packers safety. He's going up against his former team coming up on Sunday. He doesn't get into all of that, but listen, this Packers defense has been really, really good. Here's a few minutes of the Packers first team All-Pro safety, who's, again, playing at a very, very high level this year as we get set for the Packers and the Giants on Sunday.
We just got to be better. I think that's pretty much the consensus of everything. I think as a whole, obviously we're going to win as a team, we're going to lose as a team. And right now we got two back-to-back L's. So we got to figure out how to turn it around as a team and get a win.
Is there any extra emotion facing your former team?
Nah, not really. I don't really, I don't get into all that. I just try to go out there and play a good game regardless of who I'm playing. I'm trying to go out there and be productive and be the player that I know I am. So it'd be fun just to be back in the city though, and get to see a lot of old faces and familiar faces. But it should be fun though. This is my first time playing them since I've been gone. So I'm gonna definitely be juiced up. But it's all out of good, good intention and just looking to have a good game.
Actually, does it all feel like a must win?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a must win. I think we put ourselves kind of in a sticky situation, but it is what it is. Things happen. Obviously, everything don't go always as planned that you want to go sometimes, but you got to make do with the circumstances that you have and the type of environment that it is. So that's just what it is.
I know you pride yourself on your own play, but also impacting those around you.
Yeah.
How now do you help raise the votes?
Just continuing to hold everybody accountable, hold myself accountable, being locked in on the details at every second, every moment that I can, and then making sure on game day we had that energy that we need to have, and just continuing to emphasize that, continuing to be vocal about that as much as I can to the DBs in the back end, to the defense as a unit, and even on the other side, just making sure that I'm always being the leader that I know I am, and communicating with the guys, letting them know kind of the situation that we're in, but also, letting them know like it ain't no need to panic, but we do got a sense of urgency that we need to have, at this point.
So you're comfortable crossing over beyond just defensive lines?
For sure, yeah. That's what I'm a leader for. Like, it's not just to control or say anything just to my side, the defensive side of the ball. It's to speak to everybody, whether that's offense, whether you play offense, whether you play defense, whether you play special teams. So my job is not just to be a leader on the defensive side, but be a leader of this team, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
How strange / difficult has like the last month and a half been, facing a lot of uncertainty with quarterbacks or new quarterbacks that haven't played with the team? You got Jameis this week. You had Flacco with the Bengals. You had Brissett with the Cardinals. You didn't know if Bryce Young was healthy enough. How weird and challenging has that all been?
It's the league. People go down, and sometimes you face different people, but you got to be locked in regardless of who's playing. That's just kind of as simple as I could put it. Like, it don't matter if it's the starter, if it's not the starter. Our whole objective is to go out there and dominate and have a good game. So that's my mindset to it. I don't really get frustrated about who's playing. Sometimes I'll be happy if it ain't the starting guy, that's more ops. I mean, there's more ops for us to go out there and eat. So, but obviously in this case, you got a guy that's played a lot of football in this league, a really good quarterback, and he can make plays. If we give him, them looks, he gonna make them plays. So we got to be locked in regardless of who it is out there.
But Jameis looking to be some ops though. What do you mean? Through 31 here.
He'll give ops for sure. But at the same time, like, he can make plays as well. So I can't just sit up here and say that, he just gonna go out there and throw 10 picks, because he's not. He gonna go out there and play a good game. He's a good quarterback. So he's seen a lot of defenses. He's seen a lot of coverages. And he's made a lot of plays in this league. So, all you can do is really respect it and, go out there with the mindset of knowing that, he's a quarterback that can win games. So we have to understand that. We can't just go out there thinking that the game is just going to be given to us, because it's not. So we got to go out there and earn it.
After a game like Monday, do you stay up all night? Can you not sleep? Do you think about the little things here, there? Because, you guys – not that it's going to always go your way, but 4 plays are different. You're undefeated. By the same token, you could lose games that you end up winning. Do you sit at night and think about that after each game, or do they keep you up?
I think regardless of win or loss, for me, I can't really sleep after games anyway. So regardless of win or loss, because I'm always thinking about what I could have done better, or what we could have done better as a team. And sometimes it'd be plays that I wish I could get back, win or loss, whether I played good or bad. So regardless, I think I don't really sleep much after the game anyway until the next day.
I'm not trying to get Hafley out of here by asking this, but he's already been mentioned for the Giants head coaching job.
No,
I know. But my question is, from what you've learned about him, playing for him for as long as you have, do you see that at some point in his future?
For sure. He's a really good coach. He's a player's coach, and I think he's done a great job of just continuing to just build his resume. And I'm sure when that time comes for him, I know he gonna make the right decision. And I'm off, like, whenever that is for him, like, I'm for it. Like, I root for Half. So, but I definitely think he's a really good coach, really good guy, and I think he'll be a great coach for that position, because it's not an easy thing to do. But I think he would do a good job at it.
What did your time with the Giants do for you as a player and help to be who you are to them?
Man, it taught me a lot. It taught me patience. It taught me just resiliency. Just a lot of different lessons that I learned throughout the time of being there. Helped me and helped me build into kind of the player I am today. And it wasn't always easy. obviously there was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of, hard, difficult times. And I went through, life-changing moments while I was in New York. So those are times I definitely won't ever forget. But it molded me into who I am today. And, I'm grateful for that time that I spent there.
When you're thinking about jersey swapping with on Sunday?
Yeah, probably Dexter. That's my dog. So we were just talking about it yesterday on the game. We get on the game pretty much all the time. So it'd probably be Dex.
What game?
2K. That's all we play. Yeah. 2K Kings, man. That dynamic duo.
When you lose games, sometimes it's easy.
All right, there he goes. When it kind of devolves into what games are you playing?
Hey,
we got what we needed from Xavier.
Come on. What are they playing? Are they playing with my career players? Are they just playing pickup? I don't know. Now I will never know.
Well, you can go back and listen to that if you really want to. But I figured I want to get the stuff about Jeff Hafley in, because that's been my assertion for the last year and a half, is that Jeff Hafley is a future NFL head coach, and to see that he's been already mentioned for the Giants job doesn't surprise me at all.
It's not like he didn't work at the pro level prior to being a head coach at Boston College. I mean, he was with 3 or 4 NFL teams, so he's seen the procedures and everything, and now he's worked as a defensive coordinator. He sat in those meetings with Matt LaFleur and the offensive staff and the special teams coordinator the day before a game to get it all together. He's figured out, he's done the roles to lead himself to this position.
And he's been in a college head coach at Boston College as well. So, I mean, it all...
And it's his aspiration when he comes back to the pro level to be an assistant coach, right? To be a defensive coordinator. That it's not like he's just coming back to be a coordinator. He's coming back to do the real deal. He was a head coach. He will be a head coach. I'd put my money on his next destination be in New York, potentially next year.
Could be.
He's from there. He's got connections, obviously.
And he's a hell of a coach, as we've seen the last couple of years.
Seems like it. Dave floated the idea of elevating him here like Pat Murphy and being, see you later, Matt LaFleur.
And Matt LaFleur would need to go to the Bears if that were the case.
Because that's the trajectory. It's,
wouldn't it be the most
hating managers / coaches?
Yeah, I think it would have to be the most significant rival, though. And I don't think the Bears are that right now. Yeah. I think it'd probably be the Vikings, but O'Connell, he's not going anywhere.
No. Probably not. And I don't think Ben Johnson's going anywhere either.
No.
So,
damn.
Yeah.
So the Packers have the worst head coach in the division.
No, I think Dan Campbell's the worst coach in the division.
I would agree.
I think
we shall see. He's a play caller now.
I think that, we'll see how that goes. I think that guys play hard for him. That doesn't mean I don't think he's a smart coach.
And I'm not sitting here saying that LaFleur is the worst coach in the division, but I'm ultimately putting out a potential for just the caliber of coaches in the division.
Well, you've only got 4 to choose from. That would even
be a conversation.
You've only got 4 to choose from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Now LaFleur would be the best coach in multiple divisions. Now there's just questions ultimately if he is here.
We shall see. We've got Josh Jacobs coming up. He met reporters at his locker. I want to hear from the Packers running back coming up in just a few minutes as well. Also, the voice of the Badgers football team and men's basketball team, Matt LePay, he'll join us coming up later on this hour as well. Dave Gasper will rejoin us coming up at 12 noon. How hot should Matt LaFleur's seat be? Well, we'll get into that as well. And you had an opportunity to catch up with Joe Brunner there.
Oh, yeah. I think one of the best interviews I've had all year. I don't like tooting my own horn, but
that's saying something, because honestly, your interviews are really good.
After a win with one of the leaders on the team, I think you just get some good answers.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to hearing that interview coming up a little bit later on, as well as Bruiser's Bites at 1 o'clock. We are just getting started, even though we're in hour number 2. Stay with us. D&D on the game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D&D will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Neil Sean of Journey to reflect on those who inspired and motivated him.
My dad was a big fan of Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Quincy Jones, Bola Sete. I mean, he turned me on to all the greatest jazz musicians because he was a jazzer. And yeah, I grew up with all that. And then I got myself, I kind of went towards the blues. I started listening a lot to, Albert King. I started jamming around in the city a lot at Stone Corner, which was Michael Bloomfield's old club in San Francisco with Bishop. And I made friends with Elvin. Elvin took me to Fillmore West in San Francisco and introduced me to BB. And I remember being on stage with BB when I was 13, with Bill Graham. Met Bill Graham too. It was for just, amazing time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Neil Sean and all your favorite artists.
You are listening to The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Billy Joel songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, My Life.
I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. Go ahead with your own life. Leave me alone.
Number 2, It's Still Rock and Roll to Me.
Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's true, baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk, it's still rock and roll to me.
Number 1, Uptown Girl.
Uptown girl, she's been living in her white pretty world as long as anyone with hot blood can. And now she's looking for a downtown man. That's what I am.
Hear more from Billy Joel and similar artists now. Search for Billy Joel on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold. From the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin, 21 plus, drink responsibly.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Start dropping straight back. Kennedy throws, has the ball. It is a touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy, and it's something Green Bay can keep. We're going to have a new trophy each year.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
I realize I'm a Green Bay Packer now, and maybe I can prove that I am worth the first-round pick next year, but just got to be patient.
But I was really impressed with the coaching staff, with the whole organization, and with the direction the team is going. I think they have a total commitment to winning.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers. If you've been injured, get Nicolay, Wisconsin's winning team of lawyers that will get you back in the game. Tales from 1265 is a production of iHeartRadio Podcasts and is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to discuss how he comes up with song titles.
Yeah, actually, a lot of my song titles are mumbles. With Cuts Like a Knife, it was just like, we used to jam, Jim Valance and I would jam songs together. And I remember we listened back to the tape afterwards. And I said, that sort of sounded like Cuts Like a Knife. Didn't it sound like Cuts Like a Knife? He goes, yeah. And I play it back, and yes, I said Cuts Like a Knife. That's cool. And then he'd say, what about Cuts Like a Knife, but it feels so right? I said, that's a good idea. So whatever that means. He makes sense of my mumbles.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
Just inches, 16 seconds remaining. Here are the Packers. Third down, inches to go. To Paydirt. 17-14. Cowboys out in front. Packers trying for the go-ahead score. Starr begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback sneak, and he's into the touchdown, and the Packers are out in front. 20-17. There's 13 seconds showing on the clock, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the third straight year.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicolayLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
This is Mike and my 12-year-old son Mickey, who requests to hear Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel. Thank you very much.
It's D&D. Doug, Nick, and Dave. Doug and Nick are here. Letty's here.
DNL, DNA.
Right now it's DNA.
Hey. DNA. I mean, that's money.
There you go. You like that?
I mean, I'm sorry. It just rolls off your tongue.
All right.
DNA.
All All right, Gasper, you're fired.
Whoa!
I'm kidding.
Come on.
It's
Maybe
a
you can
joke.
still come in at noon. I've got places to be.
It's a joke.
Like I said, if you can come in at noon, I've got places to be.
It's a joke. It's a Friday. I've been taking cold medicine all week.
High octane stuff, or
listen, anything and everything. Like I'm on the Alka-Seltzer right now.
I'm a Alka-Seltzer PM guy.
Yeah,
but then I sleep through alarms, which scares me because I sleep so well. Which I've never done, but I'm worried.
I just don't sleep well ever.
That's kind of what I did on Wednesday. I just slept the entire day. I didn't talk at all, and I slept the entire day. That's how bad it was. But I've bounced back. We are in hour number 2 right now of D&D. I mean, Dave's name's still on the show. Letty's been kind enough to spend the first couple of hours with us. Jay in Bayview writes on the talk and text line, Doug and Robin Yount neighbors. Robin must have fallen on hard times. Jay in Bayview. You're not wrong.
Come on.
Robin Yount has lived in the same house in Scottsdale for 40 years, which I find remarkable.
That's got to be a cool part of Scottsdale, like old Scottsdale, old Phoenix. Those are some cool areas.
I have not been to his house. I would love to get the invite someday. Maybe when I move to Phoenix, when retirement does happen. Of course, let's see. I'm just doing the math. Robin Yount will be like 80 by the time I get out there.
That's okay. He's a former athlete.
He's still the kid.
He's still the
He's
kid.
Probably one of the healthiest, on average, probably healthier than your regular 80-year-old.
I saw him throw out a first pitch this year. He looks good.
He looks good. He looks good for a 70-year-old. But he's right now, after Bob Uecker passed, I think he's probably the number 1 goodwill ambassador of Brewers baseball, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of guys that, represent the brand, continue to represent the brand. For so many years, for 50 plus years, it was Bob. Now I think it's Robin. And Ryan Braun, for another generation, is starting to get into that upper echelon as well. That rarefied air of, when he walks into town, it's like, oh, people stand up and take notice. Ryan Braun's back in town,
and rightfully so. I mean, even besides the year where he got the MVP and maybe shouldn't have, but he is the guy that you could see being down on the field during the playoff game and he being down there with the team. You could tell there's a camaraderie. You can tell it's not just him showing up to throw out the first pitch. He's around the team. There's relationships. He played with Christian Yelich. He played with Brandon Woodruff. He played for Pat Murphy. It's got to be cool for him to still have ties to the organization while he's coming back and being the celebrity throwing out the first pitch.
I interviewed him after the Cubs game, after Game 5 against Chicago. And yeah, I mean, he still loves being around the guys, still loves being around the team, but he's got some other things that he's taking care of in retirement. He's an investor right now. He's investing his money well as others. So he's taking some classes for that.
Trying to get back in the restaurant business with Aaron.
I don't know about that.
I don't think Aaron wants to do that.
I don't think Ryan wants. Listen,
did you ever eat at that place, by the way?
No, I drove past it a million
No
times.
kidding, right?
But
still see the 8 and the 12 outlet.
Well, now they can get into CBD products together.
Sure. I don't know if they want to do anything together. No, I think that
I'm Team
ship is
Aaron. I'm
probably
sorry. I
sailed.
just have to. I mean, it just goes with territory. Sorry.
But with Ryan, he's taken his retirement. I would say he's taken it seriously because he's taken it very seriously. But with Brawny, he plays soccer right now. That's how he continues to stay in shape and stay active, because you're a professional athlete. You can go one of two ways. You can either get really, really fat, getting Griffey, or you can stay in. Oh, come on. He's got
seriously.
I've
Kirby Puckett.
Kirby was chubby when he played. The late Kirby Puckett. Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. Sorry, he's put on some lbs.
People put on lbs, man. Look at Magic
Johnson, sure, but
Frank
who
Thomas
hasn't?
went the other way.
Robin Yount hasn't, and Ryan Braun hasn't. They still look like they're in.
Braun's like 4
playing
years
shape.
removed.
I'd say Prince is around his playing weight.
Prince Fielder's around his playing weight,
which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because that kind of fluctuated.
I'm not sure, but you look at a guy like, Jeff Saturday. I know he played his last season in Green Bay with the Packers. He's unrecognizable. Certainly Joe Thomas is unrecognizable from when he played as well. So you can go one of two ways. You can either, blow up and be as big as a house.
Yeah.
Or you can.
Yeah, those guys, I think it's just human nature once you stop eating 20,000 calories a day. And it's like,
wrong,
okay,
Nick,
let's scale it back. I'm going to eat 12,000 today.
Well, it's like if The Rock's been up at this pace of eating like that many crazy amount of calories. I'd imagine if you stopped, you'd slim down relatively quickly. But it's funny, you mentioned Andrew Whitworth, the opposite end of that, where you're like, man, you've probably put on 25, 30 pounds.
Whit
since
looks
you got-
he's just huge.
He's a massive human being.
I saw him when the Packers played their Thursday night game. So the production room that that whole crew watched, Whit was there and Carissa was there and all them. And Whit came out, and he is just a massive human being. He is enormous. So I don't know if he's put on weight, but he's a big guy when he played.
Yeah, you might just be right.
So anyway, Jake and Waukesha, Doug, don't sell yourself short. Yount should be honored to have sports media royalty like you at his house. Now, come on now. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. That's very, very nice of you to say. But
talking about playing shape, this guy, Matt LePay on the other side, I mean, he hasn't added a pound in 30 years. He looks the same.
The hair's gotten a little, the hair has gotten, I would say the hair's gotten grayer, but it's gotten more distinguished for Matt LePay.
Yeah. Avid golfer too. He told us all about it. We'll ask him about it too. I mean, he told us how much he loves golf on his basketball broadcast a couple nights ago.
And he's got a team that just won a game to call tomorrow for the Wisconsin Badgers football team, and they've got
this one's gonna be a little tougher.
Tall task ahead of them tomorrow at number 2 Indiana. It's an 11:00 kickoff. Badgers game day gets underway at 7 with Reed Magnum, and of course, the great Nick Brusewitz. We'll talk to Matt LePay coming up straight ahead on the other side of the break. Stay with us. DND, Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz. Dave Gasper's not here right now. Andrew Ludwig is. Dave Gasper will join us later. It's kind of a hodgepodge kind of show.
There's a test later, too, for the listener.
There definitely will be. So who is all hosting this week on DND? We'll try to figure that out, but we know Matt LePay is coming up on the other side. Stay with us. It's the game.
Met a girl, we had a few drinks, and I told her what I decided to do. She looked out the window a long, long moment, then she looked into my eyes. She didn't have to say a thing. I knew what she was thinking.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
I like him even more.
Just search 97.3 The Game. The Packers are coming off back-to-back losses and will try to get back on track on Sunday against the New York Giants.
I think it's a must-win. I think we put ourselves kind of in a sticky situation, but it is what it is. Things happen. Everything don't go always as planned that you want it to go sometimes, but you got to make do with the circumstances that you have and the type of environment that it is. So that's just what it is.
We're previewing the matchup all day on The Game.
Classic Cuts.
A lot of bands try to prevent fans from recording and bootlegging their concerts. But for Burton Cummings of the Guess Who, an unauthorized taper unexpectedly proved to be a big help to the success of American Woman.
It was jammed on stage, and no one would ever have heard it except there was a kid bootlegging the show that night. And I didn't realize until we were about halfway through. The guys started playing the riff, and I just started singing whatever came out of my head. There was a kid bootlegging the show, and I saw the microphone, and I motioned to the road manager, get that tape, we can't have this bootleg. So we got the tape off the kid, and we listened to it later, and here's the great thing. American Woman, stay away from me. I don't need your war machines. I don't need your ghetto scenes. All that was not crafted lyric. That was right on the spot.
Lights can hypnotize, sparkle someone else's eyes. Now, woman, get away from me.
Viva Elvis, Viva and Margaret, Viva the excitement when these two let themselves go on a wild and woolly whirl through Funtown, USA. Yes, the sky's the limit for love, laughter, and those wonderful new sounds. She loves me.
If you think I don't need you, then baby, you're wrong.
Viva Elvis, Viva and Margaret.
Viva, Viva, Las Vegas.
Classic Cuts.
If you've ever spent hours poring over lyrics trying to understand what they mean, maybe you're wasting your time. Keith Reed, who wrote the words for Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale, admits that one of the song's memorable phrases didn't really mean anything.
We skipped the light fandango. And I made that up because there is a dance called the light fantastic, which is like an English kind of a dance. And I just used a little bit of poetic license, and instead of saying we skipped the light fantastic, I said we skipped the light fandango.
the miller told his tale. Let her face at first just ghostly, turn the wider shade of pale.
It's been a hard day's night. It's the beat, the big beat, the only beat, the Beatles beat. Like Daddy Bird, this is it. The Beatles in their first full-length, hilarious, action-packed film, A Hard Day's Night. See the Beatles sing 6 brand new songs never heard before. Plus your Beatle favorites. See the Beatles in the most of the most, A Hard Day's Night. So beat it.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Carlos Santana to discuss how passion contributes to Santana's longevity.
By the grace of God, we have not lost the passion, and the fire. As I said before, for some reason, a lot of musicians our age, they reduce themselves to embers, and somehow we go into the room and you hear a tornado of fire, it's like white heat. So I love that the passion, and they're willing to play that note with the intensity of that. If you die getting that note, then gosh darn it, die, but get it, and it sounds like that because you can't get a sound like that unless you're willing to put all of it in it, to the point of like, if you get a stroke by getting it, then get the stroke, and so the collective sound of each musician, when we play like that, people are going to feel it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Santana and all your favorite artists.
The season's here to celebrate. The season's here to decorate. The season's here to illustrate. Nothing does it like 7-Up.
For the perfect holiday thirst quencher, remember, nothing does it like 7-Up.
Come alive, you're in the Pepsi generation.
I wanna take shelter in the poison rain.
It's DMD. Doug Russell, Nick Bruce, Dave Gasper. David Jonas coming up at the top of the hour. Andrew Ludwig has been kind enough to stick around for the last hour and a half, joining us on the program right now. He's the voice of the football Badgers as well as the men's basketball team. And the football Badgers coming off a huge win last Saturday against Washington. We welcome in the great Matt LePay, the Hall of Famer, joining us here on the program. Matt, appreciate the time. How are you today?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing great. What was the mood around campus this week? Because I can only imagine that after an emotional win, after, everything that this football program has gone through over the course of the last year, all of the injuries they've had, no consistency at quarterback because of those injuries. I've just got to feel like I keep likening it to like a pressure release valve that gets hit.
Yeah, it's a good description. A lot of relief. Good to see some smiles on the faces of the players after the game, on the faces of the players and coaches the last few days. They know it's one game. It doesn't mask everything. There's still a mess offensively, just trying to figure it out, trying to find 11 healthy guys to play would be a start. But the way the defense has played, especially the last couple of weeks at Oregon and last week against what was then a ranked Washington team with a good offense, scored in the mid-30s per game. It was good for those guys to see their efforts rewarded. Now you get to go down to Indiana to play the second-ranked team in the country. So, but still, I think that there's that old line, seeing is believing. And now that they have seen, okay, if you do the right things, if you give yourself the best chance, you can compete. You can have a chance against some teams that maybe people didn't think you had a chance to hang and bang with. But it was good for them. It was, to say the least, given the news of last week. The timing was perfect with the announcement that Luke Fickell would be back next year. And to follow that up with a win against a pretty good Washington team was that was exactly what the doctor ordered.
Matt, you make mention of Luke Fickell. His reaction when the game was kind of put in their hands, it's over, Posa makes a tackle. I mean, it talk about pressure release valve. You could see he's not necessarily a guy that shows great amount of emotion on the sidelines, jumping up and down, hugging guys. His post-game presser, his Monday presser, and your conversation with him earlier this week. where have you kind of seen his mind go? I'm assuming it went right to Indiana, but did you feel maybe a little bit of relief on his end in your conversations with him?
Yeah, I think he let himself enjoy it, at least the rest of Saturday night. And then you go in on Sunday and you go into your routine for the next game. But yeah, it was a little bit of a page. There were the Barryisms, talking about it being good for the soul, and don't flinch. And those are Barry Alvarez lines. And he used those lines. And another thing that I always thought was a big strength of Barry is that he let himself enjoy a win. Doesn't matter if it was against Ohio State or Murray State. Now, he enjoyed the wins against Ohio State more, don't get me wrong, but he allowed himself a few hours at least to enjoy the fruits of his labor. And then the next morning, you go about your business. And I think not every coach does that. I remember Bill Parcells used to talk about as soon as he was walking off the field after a win, he's already thinking of the next game. And he was in a lousy mood on Monday mornings when he was an NFL coach. And college coach, I'm sure Saban was probably a little similar to that in his time. And you do whatever works for you. But I do think Luke allowed himself to exhale, smile, enjoy it, and now see how they follow that up tomorrow and then the other 2 games of the regular season.
How much of a danger, in your opinion, is there, Matt, of looking at Indiana, tomorrow's opponent, and thinking that this can just happen anywhere and everywhere they throw money at a problem?
Well, I mean, they obviously went all in. There's 2 things with this, Doug. Going all in doesn't guarantee it, right? But having champagne taste and a 6-pack budget all but guarantees you're not going to have much of a chance at all, particularly in football. Basketball, it's pretty important to have it. Baseball, a little different sport. We've seen the Brewers do extremely well, but who were the last 2 teams standing in Major League Baseball? 2 top 5 payroll teams. The Dodgers more than anybody. The Blue Jays weren't all, they were, I think, top 5. But you could be the Mets and not make it. So it is a very important component to have the resources to be able to bring in the best players. But you still have to be really good with coaching. You have to develop them as best you can. If that player is going to be here 1 year or 5, you still need to. And that's the thing about Indiana. They poured the resources in. I don't think there's any question about that. But in studying their team here, watching their last 3 or 4 games, they are really talented, but they are fundamentally sound too. They're a plus 13 with turnover margin. They don't commit penalties. When they turn you over, they make you pay. They do all of those non-sexy things. They just do it with really good players, many of whom came over from James Madison with Kirk Cignetti. A couple of years ago, people had no idea who Elijah Surratt was, or D'Angelo Pons, and now you're talking about guys who are going to probably have long NFL careers ahead of them as well.
Matt, I think that we were trying to figure out the last time it felt there was a young quarterback that had as much anticipation from the fan base as Carter Smith, and the easy answer is Graham Mertz. And their debuts, both wins, both very big games. Statistically, Mertz elite. Statistically, Carter Smith just got that dog in him. What did you see from Carter Smith that you think might have sparked a team to be able to believe that they were able to get over the hump in that nasty environment at Camp Randall weather-wise on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the anticipation comes from whoever the backup quarterback is, no matter what level of football we're talking about. Or I'm sure the Malik Willis train is getting a little bit more steam right now until Jordan Love has a really good game again, and then we'll nominate him for the Hall of Fame. And you're either a hero or a zero.
Sure, that's what we do.
That's exactly how it works. With Carter Smith, I mean, you mentioned he had that dog in him, and I think maybe that was a big part of it, his ability to run the ball. It wasn't his ability to throw it, as we saw, but it's also pretty unfair to judge based on one game when he's been a scout teamer for the overwhelming majority of the season. Figured he was going to play, but it was unexpected when Danny O'Neal went down. So, but let's not kid ourselves here. Wisconsin won the way Wisconsin had to win. Its scoring drives were 7 yards, 18 yards, and 22 yards. We spoke the need of a short field into existence. Now, to be fair, Washington's touchdown drive, air quotes, was one. The field goal drive, I think, was 52. But the Badgers took advantage of really good field position in that game. But still, for Carter Smith to protect the ball, I mean, they got some fortunate bounces. We talked a lot about unlucky bounces that they've had. They had some pretty good bounces, when a shotgun snap hits off Vinny Anthony, who's going in motion. You get the punter dropping a snap. I mean, those were all recipes for disaster. So they played extremely hard. The defense was extremely good. It didn't hurt to have a couple of bounces go their way, too.
Voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, joining us here on DND on the Game Radio Network. How important has Emerson Mandel been in a season where there's been so many injuries? I don't think he's missed a snap all year, has he?
No, he's been really good, and he's a guard. He was going to be the guard, as I think a lot of Badger fans know, and with the line shuffling that took place with Riley Mahlman moving from right to left tackle, Emerson has moved from right guard to right tackle. And I was asking Luke about that this week, because you talk about guys that if you can play different positions, that in the long run, it could make you a better player. And they've had a lot of guys who've had to deal with that. They've had a lot of things to deal with this season. But, he's grown. He's a redshirt freshman, too. And I think it'll be interesting to see beyond this season. Will he stay a tackle? Can they fix the offensive line through the portal, through player development, through, other recruiting? Is he more suited for right guard? But yeah, his value it's probably been underrated. I think Mark Stewart has a piece on that. But think about this game too, guys. We've mentioned this before. There's a laundry list of things that they know need to be better. But they beat a ranked team with a fourth string center, a fourth string quarterback, and a fourth string running back. People wonder why the offense has been, not very good. Well, not many teams have had to go into their number 4 center, the number 4 QB, and their number 4 running back. And I would say that number 4 running back's pretty damn good. Gideon Atuka has been bringing it to people. It's been a lot of fun to see him make the most of his opportunity here these last couple of games.
Yeah, Matt, not to mention the defensive injuries, right? And born out of those defensive injuries, and because they've been playing well at practice and earning those opportunities. I mean, Cooper Catalano and Mason Posa felt kind of inevitable that we would see them this year, but to see them excel at the level that they did, you could have picked one or the other, and both of them deserve Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week this past week.
Without a doubt. 30 combined tackles. I mean, it looked like Cooper was trying to chase his high school tackles record all in 1 week, from his days at Germantown. But it was fun. It was also good to see Thomas Heiberger get out there too. His name doesn't get mentioned as much. Redshirt freshman
I spoke with him. We played back his conversation on Wednesday. I talked to him at practice.
Good. Yeah, good for you, and good for him for fighting through the injuries that he's dealt with to start his college career. But when you think about this team, and I think what gives fans reason to be excited for the rest of this year and beyond, the fact that you have linebackers like that who can theoretically be anchors of your program. This is more of a roster retention, roster construction year to year kind of a deal now than what we grew up, well, maybe not you, Nick, but Doug, what you and I grew up watching with college football. I think they know that too. They meaning, the football staff, the administration, like moving forward, better take care of these guys. You got others you got to take care of, but they do play with a joy. Catalano fits that mold of what you want. Wisconsin guy. Mason Posas from Albuquerque, New Mexico, but he seems like a Wisconsin kind of guy, just flying around, having fun. Hopefully they can fly around and have fun tomorrow, because they're going to need these guys and everybody else to have a chance to stay in there against Indiana.
Speaking of a Wisconsin guy, Ethan McIntosh commits to Wisconsin. That could have been awkward at the dinner table if he hadn't.
He had options. He had legit Power 4 options. This isn't one of those, let's bring an apple for the teacher here. This is for 2027. Right. And it sounds like, I'm not, Nick, I don't know how much you've talked with Nick Osen. I get the impression, and he would know more than I, that the in-state talent in 27 could be pretty good. here. And we all know in most states, and this one without as much population, that can be a roller coaster. Some years you get several, some years maybe not many. You know, they've had a few commits here, a couple of preferred walk-ons, PWOs here in recent weeks, and then a linebacker from Appleton. But yeah, it's I think with Ethan McIntosh, just finished his junior year, so you know he still has plenty of room to develop. But I think there's going to be more where that came from in the state of Wisconsin. And I would say this: Ethan's got to be Ethan, but if he's anything like his old man, it's a pretty good tackler, pretty good offensive lineman. I know Chris right now. I know people have their feelings, but let's not. This dude was a bad bleep as a left tackle for the Wisconsin Badgers. He was really, really good.
I guess it's going to be Monday when you get back out for basketball. SIUE Badgers men's basketball with an opportunity to improve to 4-0 there. But word on the street is Butchie's going to be gone. So how are you handling that you won't be hanging out with Brian Butch in the near future?
Got Charlie Wills. It's all good. Butchie actually will be a few feet to my left. He will be
television.
Looking down at you.
Yeah, I think he's working with Levering, or Jeff is stuck with. Jeff is working with Butchie. I said he's all here. So I go from one Big Ten champ to another, and Charlie's part of the Final Four team in 2000, and a couple. I
heard
those. Yeah, so we're well covered. By the way, there's a Wisconsin guy. I got to make sure I've got his name right. There's a Wisconsin guy on the SIU Edwardsville roster, Jack Campion. He's from Milton. He's pretty good.
Oh.
Transferred from Southern Indiana. So he's now at Southern Illinois Edwardsville. They actually, I said earlier in the week, I thought it'd be another undersized team. That's what happens when you talk without knowing your facts. They have a 7'1" dude. They got a 6'10" dude. So they got a little bit more length to them. So it's we're learning about the Cougars of Southern Illinois Edwardsville, but they have some guys with a little bit of skill and a little bit of length. So it's going to in that regard, it's going to be a significant step up from the first three teams Wisconsin has played so far.
Another nice weekend, too, for you to get out on the golf course one last time.
Yeah, there you go.
I will when you will. I mean, I hear you's trying to get in those shots. Have you ever had a club in your hand?
Well, two times.
Oh, we've got to get Nick out there. Oh, this is going to be fun.
I'm a big driver. I just swing as hard as I can.
We will be rolling tape for the digital assets on that.
It looks like we've got part of a foursome all lined up then. So it's all about the group you're in. It's not about the skill level.
That's right.
That's right.
If you golf with some nerd who is really picky, like if you're holding the flag, on what side of the flag you're standing on and all that stuff, that's like get the hell out. No.
Stephen Watson, is that what you're talking about?
Hour number 3 is coming up. Thanks, Matt.
It's good seeing you. Take care.
See ya.
Matt LePay, voice of the Wisconsin Badgers.
Luddy was giving me the rap.
He got you wrong.
I got you early, man.
Sorry, he got you early.
Okay.
He hit you with the premature. I mean, I'm sorry. He wants to get out of here.
I'm seeing 9 seconds. I'm seeing 9 seconds.
No, that's 45.
45.
He's holding up 9 fingers. He's giving me
4
45.
then 5. Well,
you just
now
gave
we're down
the
to
Hall of Fame or the boot for
Doug,
that.
we've got 9 seconds from right now.
Gasper's coming in next. He'll give me the 9 seconds.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Don't talk to me about no Kyle Kuzma.
A shark took her arm, but not her teenage desire to be a surfing champ. So next time life puts a little fear in you, just think of Bethany Hamilton hanging 10 on top of a heavy wave. That's real courage. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
And a base hit up the middle. 1-0 Brewers. South Freeland drives in the first run of the game. Yelich into shallow right. That's a base hit. Freeland is going to come around and score. Through the hole, a base hit. Perkins sent around third. He'll score. Good for Joey Ortiz. Is Freeland to right. Backside and looking up. It's off the top of the wall to bounce. Ortiz around third. He'll score. Collins down the left field line. A fair ball and into the corner. Freeland scores. Contreras a BB in the left. Here comes Collins. Throw from Fan is late. They keep pecking away.
try and get something started against Carmen Majinski in this 6th inning with a 1-run lead.
And that's a fair ball down to the right field corner. 2 runs will score towards the middle and through a base hit. Perkins scores. Line drive, base hit. Ortiz is in. Frelick's in. Contreras to third. The Brewers have hung a dozen on Pittsburgh. Tobias Myers kicks and deals. Struck him out. 12 in a row for the Brewers, and it's burger time in Milwaukee.
If you don't go to the University of Wisconsin, you're going to end up eating government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
Any carry now could be for the record. Bollinger under his center. Casey Robach takes. Gives it to Dane. Straight ahead. Dane across the 20. He's to the 25. Cuts right. Dane to the 30. 35. Dane across the 40. Dane across the 45-yard line. And there it is. Ron Dane has become the NCAA's all-time career rushing leader.
It's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And you still act like you're in freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me? My friends say I should act my age. That's about the time that she broke up with me. No one should take themselves so seriously. With many years ahead to fall in line. Why would you wish down on me? I never want to act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again? What's my age again?
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1975.
In September, the Isley Brothers have a #1 album, The Heat Is On, driven by the #4 single, Fight the Power. Alive is a 2-record live album that goes to #9 for Kiss. They released the single Rock and Roll All Night, which goes to #12. David Bowie switches to Philly Soul on the LP Young Americans, featuring the #1 single Fame, which was co-written by John Lennon. UK rock band Foghat have a top 20 hit with Slow Ride from the album Fool for the City. In October of '75, Pink Floyd released their follow-up to Dark Side of the Moon. Wish You Were Here goes to #1 in the US and the UK.
What have we found? Same old fear. Wish you were here.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up.
I've won the championship. They haven't.
Attention, please. We are the gang and the home of DND with Doug, Nick, and Dave. Weekdays from 10 to 2, live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X by searching 97.3 The Gang.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Dave Gasper.
Well, at the MLB Awards show last night, we got Bryce Terang and Freddie Peralta making all MLB second team. And for the second year in a row, Matt Arnold takes home the Executive of the Year award. He becomes the first ever to win the award twice. Here's a little bit from his acceptance speech yesterday.
No matter how much time you spend in the sport, nobody is ready for this job on day one. This will be year 26 for me, and I'm still learning every single day. Baseball challenges us daily in a way that's different than other sports. It pushes us to our limits and it tries to break us. But in a world that wants to divide us, baseball brings us all together from all over the world and from every walk of life. We are so blessed to do what we love. Through it all, I will always love the people, love the journey, and love baseball. Thank you all again for this incredible honor.
Damn, I want to run through a brick wall now.
I know, right?
That was great.
That was fantastic. After he had his entire, a big part of his front office, his assistant GMs,
sure.
And all those guys, he had them stand up, gave them the recognition for how they helped him to win this award and basically build this winning team throughout the year. And just great to see. Back-to-back years for the executive of the year for the Brewers, back-to-back years for the manager of the year for the Brewers. It's quite the run. And we also had back-to-back MVPs, Shohei Ohtani winning MVP unanimously again, as expected. Aaron Judge winning MVP in the American League again. He edges out Cal Raleigh. It was close, 17 first place votes to 13. So just kind of 2 votes either way would have swung it, and could have been co-MVPs, but Judge gets the win there.
If you had a vote, Dave, who would have gone to?
As much as I love Cal Raleigh, I think I would have had to have gone Aaron Judge. Just looking at the numbers that he put up offensively, I think you got to go Judge.
Nick?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. We were in lockstep, Dave and I both, with Judge. I get Dumper had a great season, but
See, I'm going Raleigh because catcher is such a hard position to play.
Yeah, and a switch hitter catcher.
Well, it is. I mean, it's the hardest position to play on the field.
Yeah,
in baseball. I don't think it's
but you can be Martin Maldonado and be terrible on one side and have a job forever.
And yet,
right.
That goes to show you though how important catcher is.
Yeah.
And when you've got somebody who plays it at an elite level offensively and defensively, that's what you got with Cal Raleigh. No shade on Aaron Judge. He's an unbelievable hitter. He's probably the best pure hitter in baseball. But my vote for MVP would have definitely gone to Cal Raleigh. With, Aaron Judge would have got my second place vote. I know that I think Christian Yelich got 1 second place vote in the National League.
Fourth place.
Was it a fourth place?
PCA got 0, so people were trolling him.
Okay.
Yeah, but Christian Yelich gets 4th place vote and a couple others. He ends up finishing 12th in MVP voting in the National League, and Bryce Terang ends up finishing 14th.
Yeah, he got a couple.
He got a 5th place vote.
There you go.
It's tough with the Brewers because there's so many players that were so good and so important. It was hard to really kind of tell who is the MVP of this team.
I feel badly for Raleigh from the standpoint that Judge has won it the last couple of years, and there's this feeling that there's a New York bias, and maybe to a certain extent there might be. I mean, you look at Judge's numbers; they're unbelievable. I mean, he's such a great hitter. He does so many different things offensively, and he's not a minus defender either. He's a good outfielder. He's a good right fielder.
Yeah,
but it's such a premium position. Catcher is such a premium position, and to do it as well offensively and defensively as Raleigh does it, that I would have given him my vote.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with you at all. I mean, you could make a great case for both of them. And I think the defensive part, the position that he plays, is a big part of it for Raleigh. But I mean, when Judge's numbers just across the board were just so impressive. It makes it very difficult on the writers, and that's why that one was close. And the National League one, not so much. With Shohei Ohtani, just unanimous across the board once again. Drake May and the Patriots beat the Jets last night on Thursday Night Football.
Those uniforms. Those are such clean
the nor'easter.
Yeah.
You liked them?
Yeah, I loved them.
I didn't dislike them, but a lot of people online did not like them.
Interesting. I think they're so clean.
The internet is known for being right all the time, right? Yeah.
Well, some people say don't mess with what works. I think the Patriots' regular jerseys are solid. I think that their throwbacks are elite, and they went with a different look yesterday. It's the rivalry series. There have been some good ones, some bad ones so far this year. I thought they were fine.
They're like a kind of I know it's called the nor'easter, but kind of a dusty blue. I think if they would have gotten rid of the red accents, I think I would have liked them even more than I already like. I think they're so clean. I think they're so sharp.
Yeah, they're very nice. And
the Patriots as a whole are pretty damn sharp. How about that? 9-2.
Yeah.
Drake May is turning into an absolute stud.
And the New York Jets are not.
And that is the argument. I know people say it doesn't matter. It's just last year's standings. But this is the argument of getting the right coach and the right quarterback and playing a third place schedule. You play bad teams that aren't necessarily going to get better one year over the next. And right now they've beaten the good teams they've played. If you look at the rest of their season, they have 6 teams left, I believe. Yeah, 17 games. I think 4 of them have 2 or less wins.
Well, I mean, they're also in the same division, so I mean, in terms of the schedule, they're gonna have to play them twice anyways. So
Yeah, I mean, the third place schedule doesn't really mean much. It only affects 2 games of your 17 game schedule, so I don't put much stock in that. But how about Stephon Diggs? Now he's
new dad.
That's what I
Stephon
thought.
Diggs. Yes,
Yeah,
Cardi
so
B had the baby.
So okay, so I'm not as up on my pop culture, perhaps.
He's got like 8 baby moms right now.
Oh, does he really? Well, I know he had a big game last night. He had I think 9 catches for over 100 yards.
Needs
so
it.
he had a big right.
Yeah.
Diapers aren't cheap, as they say. But then again, mom is Cardi B, so she's
got some of her own money.
Has some of her own money, so she can afford some diapers as well. So he's got 9. How many does he have with her?
I think this is the first one with her.
Okay.
First baby with her, but and I might be exaggerating, but I'm almost certain that there is at least 3 women that are currently pregnant with his kids.
Guys.
Well, I mean, he's kind of trying to chase down Antonio Cromartie.
Isn't there a rookie symposium where it says that, that this is no joke? This stuff adds up.
Yeah. There should be. If that's not covered at the rookie symposium, it needs to be.
It's like
he reportedly has 4 kids on the way with 4 different women.
Oh my God. This stuff.
But that's reportedly. I mean, and that could be.
But child support ain't cheap.
Well, yeah.
It ain't.
Especially when it's based on the amount of income that you have.
Right.
That's
child support ain't cheap.
It's not just a basic, across the board thing.
I'm on Reddit and I'm reading some comments.
That's a
First one
dangerous
says, bruh, we said receptions, not conceptions. TDs, not STDs.
Oh no.
Just
classic.
Sometimes you get yourself into trouble there. And speaking of getting yourself into trouble, 14
Condoms
people
aren't that expensive. Just look into it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just saying. But 14 people were charged and arrested for their multi-million-dollar illegal sports betting ring involving college athletes with links to organized crime. According to authorities, Little Joe Perna of the Lucchese crime family and his associates ran a nationwide network of bookies who used offshore websites to facilitate $2 million in bets over the last couple of years. Now, he's got his associates here, Perna from New Jersey, big shocker, charged along with his sons, stepson, nephews, and others with racketeering, conspiracy, gambling. His brother, Tony, his stepbrother, Frank Zito, his cousins, Dominic and Michael, and 6 other men accused. This is the most Italian thing I have ever heard. This is the most Italian mafia names and everything. It is so stereotypical. It is almost too on the nose.
Yeah, let's see. Let's say the names again. You got Frank.
Yeah, we got Frank Zito.
Frank, of course.
We got Joe, known as Little Joe.
Little Joe, of course. Joey.
His brother Tony. Yeah,
gotta have at least 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah, his cousin Dominic,
of course,
and Michael.
Yep. Well, Michael Corleone.
Michael Corleone. Yeah, Michael
Wow.
Chetta, according to this. But,
How about that?
Michael Chetta.
No Vincenzo's.
No Vincenzo. I mean, there are 6 other men that are being accused of it, so there maybe is a Vincenzo among them.
If the Godfather is on, if Goodfellas is on, if The Sopranos is on, I'm watching. That stuff is fascinating to me.
Yeah, and it's still happening.
Oh,
it's
sure.
still happening. I don't know if it was you, Nick, or someone else just kind of being like, does the mafia still exist?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it still does.
Oh, it's still there.
Here's the thing about mob hits, though. There's always an honor to it because they don't get anybody unless you have it coming.
Yeah, you have to have a reason to whack someone.
They don't, and you have to have permission to whack someone, too.
Yes.
So if you're going to erase someone, there's, like I said, there's an honor to it. There's no randomness to it whatsoever. Now, it can be brutal. It can be very violent. It can be very bloody. But
yeah,
it will have been.
That's
at least
why
in the
Tommy got
eyes.
it.
Tommy had it coming.
Yeah,
he didn't realize. I thought he was getting made, and then he walked into the room, and then he realized, like a split second before his brain got splattered all over the wall, that no, this was not going to happen. This is, if you beat up on Billy Bats, this is what's going to be this is
what's
going to be your
coming to you.
comeuppance.
And that's that.
If you,
Yeah.
there was nothing we could have done. You shoot Spider to death.
Yeah.
Who wound up then, of course, being in The Sopranos.
Of course.
Moltisanti. You shoot the kid for doing nothing. You know what? You're going to get yours in the end.
Yeah, you are. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens with these guys and who talks. Does anyone talk or are they not talking?
There's some honor in not talking. And if you don't talk and you just go and you do your bid, then there's some honor to that. And then they'll be on the,
they'll take care of you.
You come out and there will be, you'll get yours in the good end on the other side.
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't watch a lot of monster movies, do you?
Yeah, Nick, we got to get you caught up in the pop culture here.
Yeah, I think we're not caught up in the pop culture. I think we're dealing in maybe past pop culture.
And you can't go after anyone's family either.
Bro, this literally just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
These guys literally just got arrested for this.
The film references that are being made are not just happened.
No, but these are classics.
Yeah,
Right.
Goodfellas is an absolute classic.
If you the Godfather,
yes,
is one of the all-time greatest movies across the board.
That's the one I presented as the one that I hadn't seen, right? I mean, that was what we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so
I have, but I was probably like 10.
Right,
I don't remember.
Okay, we need to get you to watch The
like
Godfather.
a film festival or something.
Yeah.
And The Sopranos.
Yeah, mafia movies. Yeah, binge watch it.
Well, there's too much violence in our world these days. I don't know if I need to, continue to consume it at the
Right,
freedom
sure,
of my life.
because The Godfather is the one that's causing the problem in society here. With
I mean, it started at some point,
Just don't be a rat
because
they'll murder you, and then they'll stuff a rat in your mouth and then dump you in an alley as a message.
Yeah, and the rat will chew its way through.
Sure, I mean that happens.
I mean, either way, you're already shot, so
yeah, it doesn't really matter for you.
Yeah,
just fake dead.
No, there's no fake dead.
Not when it comes to getting shot. Generally,
pack your brain back in.
Yeah, that'll work.
Built different.
Well,
let's see. Ben from the University of Arrowhead. If you want to get historical information about the mafia, you must visit the Mob Museum in Vegas, which, by the way, we have threatened to go to at least the last 10 years that we've gone to Vegas, and we have not gone to the Mob Museum yet. You'd be surprised to see the Milwaukee connections. That I would not be surprised by, because Milwaukee has a lot of mob connections.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot
of them.
I've been to Al
buddy
Capone's.
whose grandpa drove truck for the mob.
I've been to Al Capone's cell at the Rock.
Nice.
In San Francisco, Alcatraz.
Yeah. Last year, me and a couple of buddies went on the crime tour in Chicago, looking at the organized crime stuff.
There you go.
You walked the streets of Chicago.
I know,
the
pretty
crime
much.
tour.
Chicago's actually a very safe town. There are some neighborhoods that are questionable.
Some neighborhoods not so much, but yeah. They're taking you to this spot, and this is where this famous gangster got shot by police.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
Listen, these things happen.
Yeah. I know.
Probably just a misunderstanding.
Probably. Sure. Yeah. It was totally up and up on the legalities.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you got
what else you got?
Yes. Have we reached the end?
No, we have reached the end. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if we had any more mob movies to talk
And
about.
Emmanuel Classe was connected to that.
Oh, this was a different, I believe, gambling issue than Emmanuel Classe. There's like 3 or 4 different gambling schemes that are being brought down right now in sports, which is wild, because you've got the Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups one. You've got this college sports one, and you've got Emmanuel Classe and Luis Ortiz one. And I don't think any of are any of them really fully connected. I know NCAA is Italian Mafia and Chauncey Billups is Italian Mafia, but I don't know if they're like,
I'm not sure.
I don't know how much of their paths actually cross.
I'm not sure. Aaron in Carolina says, "Oh, you read something off the text line. Wow, nice job." Do we not read stuff off the text line? I think we.
Yeah, we do. We did it a ton yesterday.
We read stuff off the text line.
That's all we
every day.
do. I mean, it's pretty much majority of our content. I mean, it's just reading things.
I'm not sure what Aaron is referring to right there. Tommy and Stalis, the first, second place, etc. schedules usually affect 3 games. Now there's 17 games. Okay, it affects 3 instead of 2.
Okay.
For what it's worth,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe it used to be 2 back when it was a 16-game schedule.
Right. So keep them coming on the talk and text line, including Aaron in Carolina. If you got anything else to say, by all means, 877-794-1973. That is the number. Sometimes we can't read them all because sometimes they have swear words in them. Sometimes they are off topic, and sometimes they're too long.
Yeah.
Keep them short on topic, and odds of getting them on the air probably pretty good.
So for the Packers this year, those 3 games would have been who? Cardinals, Panthers. I'm trying to figure out what the third would have been. Broncos?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
all
maybe.
finished third in their division last year, I think.
Well, what you can do is you can look back at who they were going to play this year, and then it will say, and then AFC West third place team or NFC West third place team or something like that. That's what.
Well, so far in the games that the Packers got, because they finished in third last year, they're 1-1.
Yeah,
beating the Cardinals and losing to the Panthers. Should have beaten the Panthers.
Josh Jacobs was part of that as well, including last week's loss against the Philadelphia Eagles, or Monday night's loss. It was actually earlier this week. He sat down with some reporters earlier this week, I should say, at his locker. We'll play back some of those comments coming up next. Also, Nick, your conversation with Badgers offensive lineman Joe Brunner, will definitely hit that coming up later on this hour as well. Stay with us and keep them coming on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. It's D&D. Doug, Nick, and Dave back together again for the first time since Tuesday.
Woo! Yeah,
here on the
it's
game.
been a long time.
Well, I couldn't talk on Wednesday, so that would have been very good.
No, would not have been.
I was as silent on the air as I was off the air. Put it that way.
There we go.
All right, play us out, Bruce.
At night we ride the mansions of glory and suicide machines. Sprung from cages on highway 9, chrome wheel, fuel injector.
You are listening to D&D with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
Baby, right.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
Low-budget film Easy Rider captures the public imagination with a soundtrack by Steppenwolf, the Byrds, and the Electric Prunes. The Woodstock Music and Art Fair is held August 15th through 18th on Max Yasgur's farm in Bethel. 32 of the biggest bands of the day played to a crowd estimated at 500,000. The event is later released as a movie and album. And with the boost from their appearance at Woodstock, San Francisco band Santana hits the top 10 with their debut album, Evil Ways. The festival undoubtedly immortalized Jimi Hendrix and ushered in the era of large rock concerts and arena rock bands. Also in October, Led Zeppelin have their only U.S. top 10 hit when Whole Lotta Love reaches number 4.
I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love. Oh, whole lot of love.
The Allman Brothers Band released their debut album on Capricorn Records to good reviews but limited sales. And 7 years after his last number 1, Elvis Presley tops the charts with Suspicious Minds.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Primetime action from Las Vegas this week when the Raiders host the Cowboys. Dak Prescott and Dallas are coming off a bye and hoping to break a 2-game losing skid. Mike Golick joins me in the booth for the call of the Las Vegas Raiders and the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
Catch the game on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and 1070 The Game in Madison.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In January of 1978, the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack is released featuring the music of the Bee Gees. It hits number 1 in the U.S. for more than 6 months. An amazing 18 weeks at number 1 in the UK, it becomes the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. In February of 78, Pasadena, California hard rock band Van Halen released their self-titled debut album. It hits number 19 on the charts. Their cover of The Kinks' You Really Got Me cracks the top 40 at number 36. In March, the Patti Smith Group released their third album, Easter. It goes to number 20. Their single, Because the Night, goes to number 13. It was co-written with Bruce Springsteen. In May of '78, Detroit rock singer Bob Seger releases his 10th album, Stranger in Town. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., yielding 3 top 20 singles, including Still the Same, which also goes to number 4.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Time we said goodbye.
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the number 1 album in the U.S. and the U.K. and a number 1 single, Angie. Let's Get It On is a number 1 single and a number 2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of '73, Stevie Wonder is back with the number 4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Lynyrd Skynyrd released their debut album, had a top 20 hit with Freebird, and tour opening for The Who. Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and scored number 1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
The law, breaking 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 the law.
I feel like we could have a whole segment about your mob connections.
Yeah.
Which I love. Oily Phil. My grandpa used to unload trucks for Al Capone. There's a street in Stevens Point with my family's name on it due to that fact.
Oh, that's incredible.
I love that.
Tony in Oak Creek has a story too. I did have a run-in with the wife of a mob boss in Italy when I was 16. I was quickly told to shut up. She was a horrible driver, and I let her know. My cousin said she can do whatever she wants.
That's right. She can.
She can. She can do whatever she wants. You better shut up back there.
Yeah. That's funny. I like that. She can do whatever she wants. But she's a terrible driver. Yes.
Yes.
And your point being?
Yeah. Too bad. We got to go where she's taking us.
Let's see. DJ Too Bad Chad. Technically reading a text about you reading a text, then reading his text is reading text from the talk and text line 3 times.
Nice. Gesundheit.
You're not wrong. There, you know what? You get a bell.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
I haven't gotten to hit the bell in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Individual on the talking text line that wants to remain anonymous explicitly said so. Pretty sure that the mob runs the post office.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Okay.
Did not know that.
I wonder if they're a post office employee. I don't know.
No, definitely not.
I got no idea.
I don't know. Let's see. Tommy and Dallas. I didn't mean to be that guy. I just wanted to make sure that you were on the up and up on the 17 game schedule. I don't know.
That's
I mean,
right.
so yeah, it used to be 2. Now I guess it's 3. Okay. I appreciate it. I don't mind being fact checked.
No.
Fact checked all the way. Fact check all, you know what I mean?
Check my facts all the way.
Please check our facts.
Show me the Carfax.
That too.
Or the Carfox.
Either one. It's a fox that does the facts.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Josh Jacobs, Packers running back, who made some headlines, I suppose, when he was talking about the Eagles calling out the zone run. Zone run here. Zone run here. And the play was a zone run right there. And that's how the Eagles snuffed out the Packers on 4th and 1 late in their game Monday night at Lambeau Field, a 10-7 loss. Josh Jacobs this week spoke with reporters at his locker in Green Bay.
When you look at this run defense, does it feel like this is the get-back game for you guys?
Looking at their front 5, they all first-rounders. All guys that, play at a really, really high level. Just watching them on film, I mean, they fly around to the ball. And, it's something about teams that always, get a new head coach that they just play a little harder. They do things a little bit different. They take more chances. We know we're going to get a lot of unscouted looks. It's really just about us this week. I think that's the main thing I've been trying to preach to the guys, that we're going to go as far as we want to go. So it's really about us.
Did that happen when Rich took over with the Raiders? What impact does that have? Because I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, the impact, it's almost like wherever you was at before that point doesn't matter. It's like a fresher, a new fresher air. But like, it's almost also like you want to go hard for that coach, and also for your team, you want to finish the right way. When Rich did that, a few years back, I think we went on like a 4 or 5 game winning streak and, made the playoffs. So it's something that I know not to take lightly, playing against a team like that. It kind of almost rejuvenizes the team.
How hard is it for you to, try to stay patient and not get frustrated when you say that run game hasn't been, especially when you look at where it was last year? Is it hard to, try to stay patient and frustrated?
It's definitely hard. It's hard for me, man. Just in general, not even just the run game. Like we mess up plays at practice, I kind of get a little frustrated, honestly, especially when I do it, But I think it's one of those things where obviously you can't be perfect in this game, but it definitely should look a certain type of way. And that's the thing that I'll be trying to preach to the guys. I'm like, man, we're not going to be perfect, but at least have the effort and at least have the strain, the intentionality that it looks a certain type of way. I think that's bigger than the mistake, honestly.
Josh, what was it on Monday night that was keeping you awake? The loss, or
I mean, I did have 22 people at that game, the most I've ever had at any game in my career. But so they was definitely loud and obnoxious. But definitely the game, man. I mean, I came in and I just went to my room and sat there for like 30 minutes. And my pops came and knocked on the door. My uncles, they all was there, and he said, yeah, I know you just need a minute. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, I'll be out there a little bit, but it's just one of those things, man, where you kind of like you replaying everything, you questioning everything, you wondering how do you fix things, you wondering if you could have pressed the ball here, ran harder here, or any of those things, what would the outcome have been? And it got to a point where he was like, man, at the end of the day, you could really only do all you could do, and then try to motivate and push guys to do the same. So that's my mindset coming into this week.
Sean said after the game, you guys have to get back to a point of, even though other teams know you're going to run the ball, you're going to have success.
Yeah.
How do you get back to that point?
It's a mentality. That's what I'm saying. Like that's a strict mentality. It's like 4-minute offense. When you up, the run is coming. Stop it. I mean, that's just what it is. But everybody has to be locked in on not only the details, but the mentality to want to go out there and be gritty and strain to the bitter end. And that's something that we got to, collectively as a group figure out.
Josh, when you look big picture, when things just aren't going right for a team for a couple of weeks, how can one win just change the energy and just change how it feels? Yeah,
I mean, we lost 3 games and a total of 9 points. It's not the end of the world, obviously. Like, we don't feel like it's the end of the world. We don't feel like we, panicking or anything like that. But it's also something that we feel like as an offense, we have to address our mistakes to help this team. Stop trying to, rely on the defense to just bail us out and really get back to playing our brand of ball, and that's something that, a win definitely can help build confidence, build trust in each other and things like that. But I think really it comes down to really the day-to-day stuff, the practices, the, film study, the going out there and just having the right type of mentality and mindset, finishing everything we do, and doing it as a group and as a unit and doing everything together. I think that's important.
Just when it comes to mentality and when it comes to yards after contact, you have 500 yards after contact. How much of that is just your mentality?
That's me just trying to do. Honestly, that's me just trying to do my job. But not only that, man. I always tell the O-line and I always tell even the receivers. One thing that I'm a firm believer in is if you mess up, I'm gonna try my best to make you right. And I feel like that's just a testament to me trying to make guys right in situations. And also me not giving up. I told y'all that at the beginning of this year, that my biggest thing from last year coming into this year was wanting to not give up on plays when I felt like, certain times I might have tripped here out the hole or gave up on a play where I really should have finished a certain type of way. So for me, it's just about trying to finish to the bitter end.
Well, just talk to you about, all right, what plays do you feel like you're really running? What schemes, those back schemes, what certain plays are really working for you and what aren't working? Do they talk to you about that kind of stuff?
I can't really get into the schemes or what schemes we gonna run or which ones I like. I always say all the time, I like me. So like anytime I'm getting the ball, I'll be like, all right. But really, man, I'm all for, like I say, whatever works, I'm all for. I mean, I don't really have a favorite or a not favorite. If it's what's working that week or that game or even them few plays, I'm all for it.
I do want to go back to practice because you said you've had to kind of let some guys hear it, if you will, kind of go with it. Did you have to do that last year as well, or have you done it more than you have in the past? Is that kind of what you're trying to out?
I think it's been a little bit more. I would say it's just been a little more this year, just because of the potential. Not necessarily because of the group of guys or anything like that. Just because of the potential that I see the greatness in this team and in this offense, and I just don't want it to go to waste. It's just something about just trying to maximize every opportunity that we have. It's this league is cutthroat, man. I mean, this team, we know it's not going to look the same next year. I mean, it might not even look the same in a few weeks. The way that how physical this game is. So it's just trying to maximize every opportunity that we have together.
What does Sean bring at the center position, run blocking wise?
One, he's a very smart, very smart player. When we go to the meetings since the beginning, really since I've been here, he's always the one answering all the questions. He get called on the most. Like he's like the guy that they know is going to, have the right answer every time. I think that the way that he goes about working every day, the way that he's trying to make sure he's the best version of himself that he can be. It's just, I have a major respect for a guy like that. And he's gonna grind, man. I mean, that's one thing I know about him. He's been hurt. Not necessarily hurt, but like sore and things like that. But he's still gonna grind. He's always gonna be a guy that I know what I'm gonna get out of him. So I respect him a lot for that.
Josh, in that 4th and 1, is there anything you could have done differently when you look back or contemplate in your bedroom?
I mean, obviously, you always could do things differently. At the end of the day, you gotta make the play. That's always how I look at it. If the game is on the line, they trust you with the ball, you gotta make the play, and it really just is as simple as that. And if I was going back, man, I would have just ran. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, just ran. So I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, hindsight's 20/20. We say that now, but we never know. But I just know now, like, if I'm ever in that position again, or ever in any type of position to either win the game or have a great impact on a play to win the game or put us in position to win the game, I know how I'm gonna go about it.
I thought that was an important part to put into that comment from Josh Jacobs. If he could have done anything differently, would he have? I mean, I suppose you can look back on everything and maybe audible out or something, but that you're running right into coverage. And that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, that's why the question has become, what about Matt LaFleur as a play caller? Should they be more unpredictable? Because if everybody in the ballpark knows what the play is going to be, bottom line, you're probably not going to be successful. The defense is probably going to be much more successful than the offense if you know exactly where the ball is going. So it's, to me, really interesting to see exactly what the evolution of this offense can become, because you're going up against a team this week that isn't very good. But then after this week, you've got a bunch of division games against a bunch of teams that know you really well, that have schemed against you, that have, spent time in and out of your playbook as much as possible. So I think that really interesting in the next several
Absolutely.
weeks.
Yeah, especially if predictability continues.
That wouldn't be ideal. Let's hope that's not the case.
Let's hope that is not the case. You can keep them coming on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Anything you heard from Josh Jacobs there, 877-794-1973. Let's see. Jim in Oshkosh writes on the talking text line, Doug, you are used to being fact-checked. You're married.
Good point.
No question there. Every day.
Ding the bell.
Yeah, where's the bell? Every day.
Every day.
Every day, Jim. I would say you have no idea, but Jim sounds like he has an idea.
Yeah, he might have an idea or two. Yeah.
Ted in the 920, not Ma, but my great-grandfather was the sheriff of Washington County during Prohibition and kept confiscated shine in a locked room in the basement. My grandpa and his brother would take it and sell it and replace it with brown water.
Nice.
Oh.
Again, nice job, Gramps. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's ingenuity. That is the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah. Sorry, son. I got to take this from you. I need this moonshine. I'm just going to lock it up here in my house and keep it safe.
Yeah, and replace it with brown water.
Yeah.
I love that. Keep them coming on the talking text line, 877-794-1973. Nick, you had a chance to talk with Joe Brunner earlier this week.
I did. And I was very satisfied with the conversation. Brunner's a great interview, a great dude, a Wisconsin native, a guy that certainly bleeds for this program. And it was good for him to get that W.
And we will hear that conversation coming up straight ahead as the Badgers take on number 2 Indiana. Some thoughts on that coming up straight ahead as well. Bruiser's Bites coming up in the 1 o'clock hour as well. Stay with us. Still lots to get to. It's D&D, Doug, Nick, and Dave here on this Friday, November 14th on The Game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
DND will be back in just a moment. The NL Manager of the Year for 2025 is Brewers skipper Pat Murphy, leading the team to an MLB best 97 wins, another division title, and an NLCS appearance.
So what advice would you give a first-time manager about striking that balance between communication, gaining trust, and accountability?
I think you got to be authentic and you got to be in it for the right reasons. And it's got to be part of your authentic self. You've got to mean it. You got to live it. And then they'll trust you.
And of course, many pocket pancakes enjoyed along the way.
I got a little pocket pancake right here. They're wonderful. You want some?
From all of us at The Game, congratulations, Murph. If you missed No BS, you missed out on this.
If you ever have jury duty, both the defense and the plaintiff, they can pick the jurors together.
Thanks for that reminder. I've actually never gotten to do jury.
Twice. I got it 3 times.
I got it twice. Once on my 18th birthday, and I went through the entire trial process, and at the end, they cut one person. I was like, of course I get cut. I sit through all this, and I don't even get to be a part of the decision-making process.
No.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I had it 3 times already, Billy.
Jeez.
What's going on here? You know what I mean?
I'm an upstanding member of society.
You want to do it?
Pay taxes.
I love that
you don't want to do it, Billy.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to perform my civic duty.
I love that.
Everybody sits around and gripes about it.
You're right.
I want to perform my civic duty.
You know what?
Court system. I'm right here.
First
My
time.
wife gets the notification of the summons this week. She is complaining up and down. Oh,
Can you be her
tribute?
tribute?
I can't do this. No, you can't volunteer as tribute. I looked online. I was ready to Hunger Games that thing. Walk right in there. I volunteer as tribute. My wife's got 2 kids at home, basically running a preschool in our living room. I just make jokes on the radio. I will be the guy that potentially has somebody's fate in their hands, and they don't want that for some reason.
You know, I'm proud of you, Billy. I'm proud of that attitude. That's the correct attitude to have.
Be honest with you,
I
I had to hold back from swearing a couple of times because
I
I think
love
it's bull. It's BS, like the name of the show. 31 years on this earth. I've been available for 12 of them.
Come on, Milwaukee.
They've only given me 1 time as the reserve guy. I called in every hour. I was so juiced. I was dressed.
Sure.
I had a fake briefcase ready to roll down there. I know you can't even bring anything
You had a
in.
collared shirt on.
Yes.
Look like Hunter Baumgart.
We're going to defend him?
I don't know that I have ever worn a collared shirt tucked in outside of in a suit. Your boy was suited and booted, ready to roll down there.
So proud of you, man.
To the courthouse.
Yeah.
Call in, automated voice message. The reserve jurors are unneeded for the afternoon of 4/19/24. Dang it!
Listen to No BS with Billy and Armin every weekday from 6 to 10 right here on The Game.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Elton John songs that you thumbed up. Number 3, Tiny Dancer.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Baby darling, she's so landing.
Number 2, Rocket Man.
Papa, man, they think I am a oh, no, I'm a rocket man, burning out the fuse out every home.
Number 1, Benny and the Jets.
She got electric boots, I'm more too, you know I'm better than a magazine. No, Benny and the Jets.
Hear more from Elton John and similar artists now. Search for Elton John on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
After 2 straight losses, the Packers look to bounce back in New York against the Giants on Sunday afternoon.
Unfortunately, we haven't been clean enough, I think consistently enough as an offense, because we've done some decent things. I mean, I look at some of our ability to move the chains on third down. It's been pretty good. Unfortunately, we put ourselves in some tough situations over the last 2 weeks where, we just haven't been able to score points.
DND is previewing every angle all day on the game.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack Flashback.
Arguably one of the best soundtracks of all time, 1984's Purple Rain is hit after hit after hit. There's so many to choose from, so today we'll honor the title track.
Purple rain, purple rain.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
It's DND on the game. Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper. Coming up tomorrow on the Badger Sports Properties Network stations near you, 1310 WIBA in Madison, 101.5 FM, WIBA FM in Madison, and on the big 95.7 in Milwaukee, as well as around the rest of the state on great game radio stations and Badger Sports Network stations as well. It'll be the Wisconsin Badgers taking on the number 2 ranked Indiana Hoosiers. This coming off the heels of Wisconsin's 13-10 win over Washington last week at Camp Randall Stadium. A huge win, an important win for the Badgers program. And Nick, you had a chance to catch up with one of the stalwarts of that program for the last several seasons, offensive lineman Joe Brunner.
Got to feel great to get a win. What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I think it's just, special. I think, the guys all year haven't given up on each other. And it's the work that we put in finally paid off. That's what you play the sport for moments like that. Guys are happy and guys are continuing to fight. We're excited for the challenges ahead of us this week.
To win the game in the fashion that you did wasn't pretty, but it was won in the trenches, and that's kind of what this program is known for. Did you feel like you kind of, as an offensive line group, played a pretty big role?
Yeah, I think, when you look at the run game specifically, I think we ran the ball really well. With Carter in there, the versatility that he has brings a different aspect to the offensive game. And the passing game will come. He's a young buck. He's talented, so that'll come. But I think we played well. I think, the defense played outstanding. You look at what they've done. They're phenomenal. So getting to go to work with them every single day makes us better. But, yeah, I think Saturday was a great game.
You look at Carter, a lot from the outside we felt was the energy.
Yeah.
How did that change things for you? Everyone brings energy. Shoot, Danny's a pretty energetic dude when he's out there as well. But what aspect of that, how did that change things for you guys once he got in there?
Yeah, I think he's not afraid, right? He goes in there and he pulls the ball and runs it for 12, 15 yards as a freshman, running through guys. You're like, okay, this is the guy. We're going to roll with this guy. Guys are excited to see that, to play with that. And as a true freshman, it's special.
I mean, he's a freshman, and he's got a pretty good facial hair game. You came in pretty great facial hair as a freshman.
Yeah.
What do you make of that game for him?
The facial hair might be better than I was my freshman year. I mean, it's pretty sweet. He's got a good mustache, a little goatee.
Right.
I love it. I love everything about it.
You look at the road ahead. You got a very talented group against Indiana this weekend, but you got to feel like you just beat a pretty darn good team. Why not this weekend as well?
Yeah, I think, we don't expect anyone to believe in us except for the guys that are in that team room up there.
Right.
And that's fine. The odds are against us, but we just got to go and do what we do and play our game and go play our tails off and come out with a win.
How about that dude to your right, Davis Heinzen, making that transition this year from tackle to center and being pretty damn good at it?
I don't think people understand how hard that truly is, because he never played center in his life, I don't think.
Right.
And to come and do it at a Big Ten school like Wisconsin, and to play that well, it's very impressive. And it's awesome to see. It's awesome to play next to. We have fun out there, so it's awesome.
A lot of great post-game conversation, and a lot of it centered around those freshman linebackers on the other side. I mean, 30 combined tackles, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week in Catalano, 2.5 sacks in the strip sack for Posa. But part of that conversation was knowing that you guys had it in the bag at one point, that you had broken their spirit. You go nose to nose with those defensive linemen. Did you feel that at some point in the game, that you guys had maybe gotten over that hump and started to take command?
Yeah, I think, when you're in the fourth quarter, when you're still banging out rushing yards for 4 yards, and all of a sudden a 10-yarder, and then 4, 3, 4, 10, and guys just on that side of the ball don't have energy, you can tell. Because D linemen always got energy.
Right.
They're always coming on the field talking a little talk. But when they're running out in that field and they're not saying anything, they're not looking at you, And it happened. It happened in the fourth quarter. We just kept our head down and we kept going.
You're a Wisconsin kid, Wisconsin weather, winning it, and kind of the brand of football that this program is recognized for. And to get that W and have the fans storm the field, what was that like for you? Maybe the little kid that you were at one point, now a pretty big grown man.
I mean, it's something you dream of. I haven't gotten to experience it except for Saturday.
Yeah.
And to see that, just to see, the fans that showed up and were there and stick through it, and to see them enjoy that as well, it's special. It's what you dream of as a little kid. There's no feeling like it.
We'll end here with this. Pretty stoic, pretty reserved guy, Coach Fickell, a lot of times. I mean, he's business. His reaction when that game kind of went final was, I felt like a great release. Did you feel that maybe on his behalf, on behalf of this coaching staff that's been wearing it now for a long time?
Yeah, I think, Coach Fick's been under a lot of fire, and it's a lot, right? I trust in what Coach Fick has done here, and what he's going to do. I got faith in what he's done, and that just shows the work that we've put in, and that we trust the guy. And that the guys on this team are behind what he's doing, what he's been doing, and what he's going to do forward. So it was awesome to see that and to be a part of it.
Joe Brunner.
All right, there he is, Joe Brunner, offensive tackle from the University of Wisconsin. Conversation that you had with him.
Technically guard.
Guard, sorry.
Could play tackle, could play guard, could play center. All around good guy, right? That's the number one, first and foremost. To speak to these guys, to feel their pain in these losses week in, week out, like to be able to have the conversations after a win. I hadn't been able to do that in 2 months. I mean, every day these guys are going to work, working to win games, and they're not winning them. Every Tuesday, I'm meeting with them and asking them, okay, you've dropped 3 in a row. You've dropped 5 in a row. Okay, you still have half a season. You got to get something positive going. And this past weekend was as good as it could have gotten, I think, for the emotions of this team to just win and win in a dramatic fashion. I think they would have preferred to win regardless, but to win in a dramatic fashion, I think it's just a little bit more special for this group.
And now they've got their hands full with Indiana, a team that puts up more points than anybody else in college football.
They've had their hands full, right? I think we looked at this schedule and we said, this is a hell of a stretch, hell of a year. I mean, the college football playoff top 4, are they now checking off the box on all of them? I'm trying to think here. Texas A&M, no, but you're looking at number 1, Ohio State, number 2, Indiana, and number 4, Alabama. Not to mention Oregon is in the top 10. Like, this is a schedule that was built to be tough. or was, I don't know if it was built to be tough. It was expected to be tough, and it ended up being even tougher than I think even you could have imagined.
So they've got an opportunity tomorrow to put up a good showing against Indiana. I don't know that, I mean, certainly they're not going to be favored against the Hoosiers, but they've got Illinois coming up, and then they've got Minnesota coming up as well. There's an opportunity for this team to end the season on a real high note. And, I know that we've talked a lot about, coaching changes, not only at, potentially at Wisconsin, but everywhere else as well. But I also would go back and say, because of all of the coaching changes that we've already seen, whether it's at Penn State, whether it is at Florida, whether it is at LSU, some of these big blue blood programs that have decided that they're going to flush what they've got and start over, even if they are paying out, in some cases up to $50 million and, in some cases a little bit more than $50 million in payouts to these coaches. That's all well and good, but what is the coaching pool then going to look like if Wisconsin would have made a change? I think that they've got a long ways to go before they dig themselves out of the hole that they've dug themselves in. But I'm also not sure exactly what things are going to look like on the front of trying to get somebody in here who is going to be able to turn this thing around, because that person hasn't been identified yet. That's what they did. That's what they thought they were identifying with Luke Fickell, somebody who, was, active in the recruiting game, certainly, and somebody who was an up-and-comer in the college football ranks as far as coaches are concerned. And I think that's what they got. They just haven't been able to put together a cohesive offensive plan, a cohesive offensive, identity over the last several years. And this year, I think as much as anything that has to do with is injuries, because I think that Coach Grimes has this team at least knowing what its identity is. They just don't know who the personnel is going to be from week to week.
Yeah, and that's what it's been. I mean, the last couple of years. I mean, it starts with Billy Edwards Jr. in week one. I mean, they've gone through so many quarterbacks this year. But last year, Tyler Van Dyke gets hurt in the third game of the season. In the first season under Luke Fickell, you had Mordecai who, played half the season. Then he broke his hand, missed several games. So you haven't had the consistent quarterback play because you've just had injuries. So that offensive development, then of course you fired the offensive coordinator. So now you're in year one of a new offensive coordinator in Jeff Grimes with a completely new quarterback room that you've brought in. So it does make it incredibly difficult to try and find any sort of identity or consistency on that front. It's frustrating, yes, but especially when you have the injuries at the most important position in all of football, it's going to be nearly impossible for anyone to have success. I don't care if you brought in Bear Bryant. I don't care if you brought in Nick Saban. I don't care if you brought in Bo Schembechler. Like, you could bring in any coach, any historic great coach you want from college football. You have those kinds of injuries at the quarterback spot, you're probably not going to have success.
Yeah, not to mention that, almost exclusively the players that are here are essentially expected to be playing in a different offensive system. I mean, the personnel on the offensive line are taller, leaner, more quick. Now you're playing in the trenches again. They got to reset some things, but feels like they got some cornerstones, hopefully some pillars moving forward for this program on both sides of the ball.
Great interview with Joe Brunner. Appreciate it, Nick. Bruiser's Bites is coming up after the top of the hour, and we'll look forward to our final hour of a very truncated, weird week for us here on DND. But we're back together again for one final hour, and we will talk to you right on the other side of the break. Keep them coming on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line 877-794-1973. Let's see, we've talked about the mob. We've talked about me not reading text messages, even though I was reading a text message about not reading text messages. And I've been fact-checked a few times as well. It's all good. Keep them coming.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
Ryan Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up this week, a big NFC battle when the 7-2 Eagles host Jared Goff and the 6-3 Lions. Jalen Hurts and Philadelphia are on a 3-game winning streak, including a tough road victory at the Packers on Monday. Ross Tucker and I have the call. Lions at the Eagles on Sunday Night Football.
Catch the game on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee and 1070 The Game in Madison.
If you missed DND, you missed out on this.
Paul Brettel joining us from ESPN Lacrosse, the Wisconsin State Journal, and NBC 26 on the Packers beat. What's been your assessment through the first half of Matthew Golden's
rookie season?
Yeah, it's obviously been a mixed bag, right? I think not just looking beyond the production for him, I think when a lot of those receptions have happened are critical and illustrate where he's at in the offense in terms of understanding and also his trust with Jordan Love. I mean, there was that big fourth down play he had in overtime against Dallas. He's had several big third down receptions throughout the season as well. So I think when the production comes, I think speaks quite a bit to where he's at in the offense. And like I said, that rapport with Jordan Love. And in terms of getting him involved more, right, more regular opportunities, that's so much of that. And the coaches have, LaFleur, Adam Stenavich, Jason Vrabel have all talked about this. So much of it is game plan and matchup oriented. There was this one play against Arizona where Golden caught the crosser and then he ran out of bounds, and it was the one where he ran into the police officer on the sidelines, I believe it was. Vrabel said they dialed that play up for him 3 other times in that game, but because of how Arizona was guarding him or defending that play as a whole, it didn't make sense for Jordan Love to throw the ball there. So just because the ball isn't always finding Golden right now doesn't mean that the Packers coaching staff don't have play calls for him. Doesn't mean that they're not trying to, but so much of what happens on a play is dictated by, all right, what's the defense doing? And one of the things that Jordan Love does do a really good job of is taking what's there, right? All right, what's the defense doing and who's open, regardless of who it is. Could be Christian Watson, could be Malik Heath. The ball most times is going to go to who the open player is. So there definitely is an effort to get him the ball. And I do think with Tucker Kraft being out, and as the Packers look to find ways to recreate that yards after the catch ability that Kraft brought to this offense, I think you're going to look outside the tight end position a bit for some of those opportunities, and getting Golden the ball on shallow crossers, a slant, quick screens, finding ways to get him the ball in space can help recreate that element. And then I think that'll also double as a way to get him more involved as well.
Listen to Doug, Nick, and Dave every weekday from 10 to 2 right here on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right.
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number 1s, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the U.S. And in December, the single Taking Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to discuss the difficulties of putting a record together, particularly the Reckless album.
If you knew what Reckless took to make, you wouldn't think that, it just sounds like we went in an afternoon and recorded a record, because I told over that record for 6 months, I mean, it was one of the hardest things I ever did. I was completely wiped out afterwards, because I fought every step of the way with everybody about it. And even though I had a good team, there was a lot of struggles. Mm-hmm. But, I come to terms with the fact that, if you want something bad enough, you got to fight for it. And so that's what I do now. I just, I put together a good entourage of guys and go in there and just get in the scrum, man.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
Listen to us live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app and watch our shows each weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are The Game.
So one of the things that I do love, and this isn't a commercial or anything, but this sore throat spray, when you don't have much of a voice left, which is what I've been dealing with for most of the week, it does work. It does numb it.
Oh, there you go.
So
that's helpful.
That was great. Appreciate that. So I can't feel the back of my throat, nor do I want to feel the back of my throat.
No.
Don't need
always
that.
the worst.
Yeah. One of the things that I did like when I came back after being gone for 2 days because I was sick is they fixed the lights in my office, which was nice.
Oh, there we go.
Because my office has been very dark. I don't know if you've noticed that. Anytime you've walked in there, it's like half the lights don't work, and some people just
I didn't
assume
know if you were just kind of in one of those moods every time I walk in, or
usually
something like that.
Something, yes, but that's
There's something dark and depressing going on. It's like, oh no, Doug's in the feelings again.
Yeah, so that's why I have the candles that I light every once in a while. But yeah, I walked in and I flipped on the lights. I'm like, ooh, I can see. I can see. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. Final hour of DND here on the Game Radio Network. Let's see. We've got a few things that we need to get to, but before we do anything else, and by the way, the talk and text line is still open to you, of course, as well at 877-794-1973. But we set aside time in the 1 o'clock hour for the award-winning and always looked forward to, I think that's the right vernacular, Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
Yes, it is. It's time for Bruiser's Bites as we get you through your work week. 1 hour left for us here on the show, and it's our last Bruiser's Bite of the week. What do we got here? 1:02 in just a moment here, I think, when we officially get going. So we got it pretty close to the 1 o'clock on the dot. Always brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. You can visit them there to see all the great work they do, but their garage floors, their garage cabinetry, that's what you can get to make your place the belle of the ball, the talk of the neighborhood, the best garage in town. So visit wiconcretecoatings.com and see what they can do for you. What the Packers couldn't do for us was convert a 4th and 1 last week, or this Monday.
Womp womp.
And it was pretty much the talk of the day on Tuesday that Josh Jacobs and others, and the audio you could literally hear, clarified that the Eagles knew exactly what was coming. Matt LaFleur was pressed on that decision, that 4th and 1 play, and how the Eagles knew exactly what was coming yesterday by Bill Huber. And here's a good chunk of the answer on that play being known and Matt LaFleur's response.
We do that all the time offensively. We know when corners are coming. We know when backers are coming. This is not like the first time in the history of football that people know what's coming. That happens pretty regularly, I would say. It's film study. It's things that happen in game. Bottom line is you got to be able to block it. And sometimes it's not easy, but sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's just the bottom line. That's football.
Is that a satisfying answer to you guys? We touched on this yesterday, but now you've had some time to digest. Satisfying to hear him say, that's football. Happens all the time. People always know what's.
If that's true, then why did Josh Jacobs specifically point it out after the game on Monday night?
Because he wasn't media trained in the moment on what to say.
Right.
Yes.
So
multi-year league
to
veteran.
answer your question, Nick, am I satisfied with that answer? No.
Yeah, I'm not satisfied with it either, because even if other teams think they know, like they pick up on those kinds of things because of tendencies you are doing in game like that, because you're getting too predictable, as we've talked about, whether it's film study, whatever else. I mean, before you even finished lining up, they knew what play you were running. You have to change it up. You have to be less predictable with the play calling. Because as much as you try and say, oh yeah, this happens all the time, these guys can figure out what's coming, it shouldn't be happening, especially in the most important moment of the game.
Yeah.
So no, it is not satisfactory.
Yeah, and again, the fact that the running back who the ball was, he was expected to get the first down. Yeah, I mean, you do have to block it. I agree with LaFleur there.
Yeah.
Even if they do know that it's coming, but if it happened all the time, I don't think Josh Jacobs would have said that after the game. Fair?
Yeah, that's more than fair.
I was not satisfied at all. I pointed it out yesterday. I thought that it was maybe absurd. But we'll roll forward and hope the next 4th and 1 where the opponent knows what's coming ends up being blocked better, executed, and Jacobs can overcome.
Yeah, listen, I mean, LaFleur is right when he says you still have to block it, you still have to execute it. Yeah, okay. But as we said, I think days are all lost. On Tuesday's show, it's like, listen, if a batter knows that it's going to be a belt-high fastball, he's probably going to belt it out of the park.
That's right. That is right. Well, not only does LaFleur need to show improvement to the fans, I think a lot of people want to see more from Jordan Love. His head coach had this to say about his play so far this season.
I think he's done an outstanding job this year. And I know that we've hit a rough spell in regards to scoring these last 2 weeks, but I think he's done an outstanding job, and we got to make sure that he stays confident. I think that is paramount for every player, and I think he is confident.
Back-to-back weeks without a passing touchdown for QB1, Jordan Love. Is that what you need to see from him? Is that the bare minimum this weekend? What do you need to see from Jordan Love to feel confident that he's back on track?
I need to see him pick apart a bad Giants secondary. I think that if you've got a team that's on the ropes like New York is, you got to step on their neck. You have to curb stomp them. That's what I want to see from the Packers this weekend. I don't want to see any of this dink and dunk stuff. I want to see them take a couple of shots downfield. I want to see them be less predictable, and I want to see Matt LaFleur trust his quarterback. I mean, there was one long pass to Christian Watson. Watson said after the game, "Yeah, I should have caught it. My bad." I admit, I admire the fact that he admits it. I admire the fact that he owns it. But yeah, he should have caught that ball instead of trying to play defense and watching it bounce off of his helmet. But they should have kept taking shots, and they didn't. You've got these guys who can stretch the field. Might as well use them. So yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Jordan Love take some shots, and I want to see his head coach / play caller give him the keys to the offense, because I don't think we've seen a whole lot of that this year.
Yeah, I think they have to have and make room for Jordan Love to have that trust and to have that decision making to take the shots down the field, give him those opportunities. I mean, you have guys like Christian Watson specifically for those kinds of things. Matthew Golden as well. We'll see if Matthew Golden ends up being able to go on Sunday. But you have the weapons there. You're paying Jordan Love $55 million a season. You might as well trust him and just give him a shot to win the game and go downfield. So, yeah, I want to see him connect on those deep passes. I want to see him be able to put up 30-plus points on a bad Giants secondary and a bad Giants defense. And you have to see this offense humming along a little bit. I mean, we know that they can. We know they have it in them. They did it against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, I mean, the Steelers' defense this year hasn't been as great as they've historically been. So perhaps facing another bad defense here can help see this offense roll again.
Well, you mentioned him as a $55 million quarterback, and Dan Orlovsky of ESPN recognizes the importance of letting your $55 million QB play his game.
People say, quarterback, protect the football. I'm not paying you $55 million to protect the ball. You pay players like me to protect the football. And that's not being joking, like legit. I'm paying Jordan Love to be great. And it's way too cautious. In the narrative around Jordan Love, this is what has bothered me so much about the season and coming off of last week. Jordan Love's a walking turnover. That's factually incorrect. Jordan Love's reckless with the football. That's factually incorrect.
All right. Well, if they follow Orlovsky's advice and they cut Love loose, let's say for the rest of the season, he plays a more aggressive brand of football. How does that change the Packers' outlook, in your opinion?
How does it change their outlook?
Yeah, I mean, right now you're 2 games above 500, essentially.
Sure. I think that they're just going to get better. Listen, I think that they've got the talent, and I said this at the beginning of the year, and I don't know. I mean, there's been some injuries, of course, especially on the offensive line, and at wide receiver, and Tucker Kraft is, part of the pass-catching group as well, so that hasn't helped matters. But I honestly believe that this team is capable of being a Super Bowl contender. Yes, they've taken some steps back. Yes, they've had some ineffective games. Yes, they've had the injuries that I talked about, but I don't think they're that far off. I think they're a pretty close team. They just, for whatever reason, haven't gotten it together when they need to get it together offensively. The defense has been, by and large, pretty damn good. The offense has not. And, when you've got studs like Josh Jacobs, for example, Tucker Kraft before he got injured, Christian Watson now that he's back in the lineup, Jaden Reed, hopefully they'll get him back in the lineup and get him going soon. Matthew Golden, I still think is going to be a stud wide receiver. Not there yet, obviously. He's got a long ways to go, but I think the building blocks are there. When you've got all of this offense, if you can put them behind a line that will keep Jordan Love upright, we've seen what he can do in a clean pocket. So my expectations for the Packers, sky's the limit. But again, they've got to start behaving on the field like a Super Bowl contender as opposed to not. And we've seen a whole lot of not in the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been way too much up and down with this offense, with this team, and how they've been performing, because we have seen a lot of those games. I mean, week 1, week 2, they looked unstoppable offensively. We saw them against the Steelers. They looked unstoppable, even against the Cowboys. I mean, the offense put up 40 points. I mean, they were putting up numbers. And, then you have too many of those inconsistent performances against the Browns, against the Panthers, against the Eagles now. It makes it hard to believe how consistent they can play when it gets to the postseason, when it gets to what we're thinking this team can do. Can they make a run? They're going to have to play much better football for that stretch than they have in the past couple of weeks. So you got to get the line healthy. You got to get as many players healthy as you can. And just as we've been talking about, let Jordan Love loose.
Former NFL head coach, Super Bowl champion just a couple of years ago with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bruce Arians, hopped on Up and Adams with Kay Adams, and she asked him about what's wrong with the Packers offense right now, and here's a chunk of his response.
It's a head scratcher. I mean, they look so good at times and so average at times. Yeah, and it's throughout the whole league. I've never seen somebody drop balls by NFL receivers in my life. And I don't know what it is, but lack of concentration, too many young guys or whatever it is. But, man, too many balls hitting guys right in the chest on third down and dropping them. And, that's plagued them a little bit. Obviously, they need Golden back. They need a couple of guys back.
They do need a couple of guys back. Matthew Golden may be one of those, limited at practice yesterday. We'll see what he ends up being today, but he's in all likelihood going to return to action this week. But Dobbs and Williams and Watson was added to the injury report yesterday. A lot of guys banged up. All that being said, what weapon needs to make the jump for the Packers moving forward, or a jump for the Packers moving forward, for them to maybe be able to reestablish the offense that they had when they were at their best earlier this year?
I think the easy answer is the quarterback, but the quarterback's got to be able to connect, and I think he's got to go downfield more. And I think that, to me, if they can get Christian Watson more involved and more consistently involved with the offense, that's just going to open everything up. It's going to open up Josh Jacobs, some running lanes for him. It's going to open up some opportunities for some other guys. I still think that Luke Musgrave has a lot of talent, and we're going to hopefully, I don't know if there's any wood around here, hopefully we'll see that now that Tucker Kraft is out for the year and then some. Listen, Musgrave is a second-round draft choice from a few years ago. They need to start cashing in on that draft capital, and we haven't seen a whole lot of it yet, but I do believe that there's some potential there. But to me, it starts with number 10, and number 10's got to get the ball to number 9. And if number 10 can get the ball to number 9 on a consistent basis, again, that's just going to open up everything else for everybody else.
Yeah, and I think if you can also get it to number 0 a bit more often as well, because, I mean, speaking of trying to get returns on your draft capital there, first-round wide receiver, first time since 2002, and Matthew Golden, and you got to be able to get him into the end zone. You got to be able to get him more involved in the passing game. I mean, you know what his strengths are, what his skill set is. You have to be able to use them to apply them in game. And, he's someone who's got to be able to get you into the end zone and use his speed. You got to find ways to get that more involved into the offense. So that's the one for me that I really want to see more from.
Well, Jeff Hafley was at the podium yesterday, and he had some comments about his head coach, Matt LaFleur, and the confidence he has in the offense.
I got confidence that our offense is going to go out, and this is no disrespect to the Giants, but we're going to score a lot of points. I mean, that's one of the best head coaches in all of the NFL and one of the best play callers, who I still hate going against in 2 minutes like we do today, because he's really hard to defend. And they're going to get going. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about what we did against the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. So we're going to be okay.
Way to stick your chest out for your buddy Matt LaFleur, Jeff Hafley, and his confidence in the offense, Hafley's remains high. One of the best head coaches in the NFL, one of the best play callers. Okay, we've seen that with LaFleur, not recently, but we've seen it. Defensively, Where is your confidence in this group with the Green Bay Packers? Is there any reason to doubt what Jeff Hafley's boys are doing on their side of the ball?
None. Sky high. My confidence is sky high, especially if Nate Hobbs isn't able to play. I think that just makes them better. Because Nate Hobbs has been friggin'
Come on.
Nate Hobbs has been friggin' terrible this year. Sorry. So listen, Jeff Hafley's a future head coach, maybe sooner rather than later. Could be in New York. I know that we've talked about it earlier in the hour about whether or not, or earlier in the program, whether or not he's destined for perhaps the Meadowlands next year. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I know that, and I've said for a couple of years that I think that he's a future NFL head coach. But, I mean, he's got these guys humming. He's got these guys running. And, they are playing an outstanding brand of football right now.
Yeah, Jeff Hafley, I've got so much confidence in him in this Packers defense, and it's been such a long time since we've been able to say how confident we are in the Packers defense. For years and years and years, it was always a problem. It was always one you have no confidence in. What are they doing? They got to be able to step it up. If you can just have something halfway decent on that side of the ball, you can be a Super Bowl contending team. What Jeff Hafley's done has been fantastic. I've got the utmost confidence in that defense to be able to hold down the New York Giants, especially now that the Giants do not have Malik Neighbors, Cam Scadaboo, or Jackson Dart for this game. It just breeds that much more confidence.
Well, for the sake of not doing exclusively Packers, I did grab this from Badgers men's hockey head coach Mike Hastings. Wisconsin out to a 7-1-2 overall start. They split with Michigan on the road this past weekend. Wisconsin, 7th ranked in the coaches poll. This is what Hastings had to say about what that ranking means.
The one thing that we're trying to focus on is just what they're doing today, because it's what's within their grasp. It's what they control. And then what they do when they walk out of this building to accomplish the rest of their day. So our group's done a really good job at not paying attention to things that we don't control. We appreciate it. We feel we're a good hockey team, but we also know that you need to go out and earn it every day, because if you don't, that progress stalls.
Wisconsin hosting Ohio State this weekend at the Kohl Center beginning tonight at 7. Brian Posig on the call, of course. And we have an opportunity to look at a very successful Wisconsin hockey team. He may not care about being ranked 7th, but I care. Wisconsin hockey right back in the thick of it here in 2025-26 with an opportunity to compete for a Big Ten title.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. They've got some big games coming up. They've still got Michigan State, which they set the times for those. I have,
7:30 on the 21st.
Yep,
and
then
6 on the 22nd.
Yes, so pregame at 7 on the 21st, and then 5:30 on the 22nd. Get into your seats early at the Kohl Center as well. So looking forward to that. They're a really, really good team right now. We saw that when they beat up on Michigan, the number 2 team in the country. In game 2, they lost 7-4 in the first game, but then rebounded and won 6-1 in the second game. What they're doing on special teams right now is really, really, special, I would say. They are converting over 35.5% of their power plays, 16 for 45. That's elite in the country right now. They went 4 for 10 in the power play at Michigan last weekend. They had 3 power play goals in Saturday's game alone. Wisconsin 7-1 in games that it's had a power play goal. So one of the things that they're doing really, really well is killing penalties and taking advantage of penalties. And that's how you get to be the 7th ranked team in the country after, bouncing back from a poor season a year ago. Mike Hastings has these guys skating in the right direction. And when the Kohl Center is full for a hockey game and both hockey teams are good, we've almost taken for granted how good the women's hockey team is and how loud and crazy LeBron Arena can be. But when the Kohl Center is packed for a hockey game, mercy. I mean, it is game on. And I'm having a lot of fun with this Badgers men's hockey team right now. And for the first time, I know they were good a couple of years ago when Hastings first took over. Like I said, a little bit less last year, but when they're good, it's really special.
Yeah, it just makes it that much more fun with this Wisconsin athletics program. The long, rich history of hockey, men's hockey, especially at Wisconsin. It's incredible. So to see that program doing well once again with what Mike Hastings is doing and being a top 10 team in the country once more, it's huge. It's amazing to watch, and it just makes it that much more fun with Wisconsin athletics.
Christian Fitzgerald is fun to watch. Gavin Morrissey's fun to watch. Ben Dexheimer. These guys are all just elite players.
Yeah, having a good time so far this year, keeping it going. Ohio State, as Brian Posick highlighted earlier, has kind of been a thorn in the side of the Hastings era so far in Wisconsin men's hockey. So let's see if they can get a pair of wins at home this weekend in front of the Kohl Center crowd. And our Bruisers Bites are always brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. Visit that website to see all the great work that they'll do and potentially can do for you still this year.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Keep them coming on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973, including this from Oily Phil. Doug, props to you for working through your throat injury. I understand your pain. If my lower body was ever out of commission, there would be a lot less internet content made. I wonder what do you mean? What does he mean? What do you?
Oh,
what do you?
Oh no!
Oh, Phil.
What do you mean by
Goodness gracious!
What are you talking about? I think these guys need to let me know what
he runs the hamster wheel.
Does he have an OnlyPhil account? Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good, Dave. That's pretty good. We'll take a short time out. More of your Talking Text Live messages coming up as we wrap up and begin to wrap up this week. It's a weird week on DND, but it is a Friday, and we're celebrating the fact that it's a Friday, and we're running through the tape really strong, and we'll do that with you coming up straight ahead. Stay with us on The Game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
DND will be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
Don't keep me waiting here. Lead me to
The Beatles released the Phil Spector-produced album Let It Be. It generates 3 number-1 hits, Get Back, Let It Be, and their final number 1, The Long and Winding Road. The Kinks song Lola, about a romantic encounter with a transvestite, makes number 2 UK and number 9 US. In July, the Stooges released their second album on Elektra Records, Fun House, and British band Mungo Jerry are number 1 in the UK, number 3 in the US with the single In the Summertime.
have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find.
In August, Eric Clapton releases his first solo album and scores a top 20 hit with his cover of J.J. Cale's After Midnight. Neil Diamond scores his first number 1 with Cracklin' Rosie. September of 1970, Neil Young has a top 10 album with After the Gold Rush. War, an anti-war protest song by Edwin Starr, tops the charts.
What is it good for? You tell me. Say it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1970.
25 or 624.
Chicago breaks through with their second album, generating 3 top 10 singles, Color My World, 25 or 624, and Make Me Smile. And Simon & Garfunkel released the album Bridge Over Troubled Water. It would win the Grammy for Album of the Year. The single of the same name would also hit number 1.
Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down.
In February of 1970, Paul McCartney files a petition with the court to dissolve the Beatles partnership. James Taylor leaves Apple Records and releases the album Sweet Baby James on Warner Brothers. He has a number 3 single with Fire and Rain and receives major publicity as a leader in the wave of new, more mellow singer-songwriters of the time.
Let it roll all night long.
The Doors get back to the blues with the album Morrison Hotel, which climbs to number 4 on the album charts. In March, Crosby, Stills, and Nash add Neil Young to their lineup and have a number 1 album with Deja Vu, which includes 3 top 40 singles. And New York hard rockers Mountain released their debut Climbing with the single Mississippi Queen.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1970. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set the night on.
In In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets, place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
Mid-80s Bon Jovi. Nice.
Thank you.
On the street where you live, girls talk about the social lives.
I don't know how many times I've seen Bon Jovi in concert. At least 4 or 5.
Oh, nice. There you go. They put on a good show, I take it?
Yeah, they were the last act at the Bradley Center before they closed it.
Oh, wow.
Or the last public act, I guess, at the Bradley Center. They had a private event. So I've seen them at Summerfest. Seen them at the Bradley Center at least a few times.
Yeah.
No, they put on a good show. Nothing terribly memorable.
Okay.
But yeah, they're fine. They're good. They were
Still
fine.
good. Yeah. Good band, though.
Yeah.
Lots of good songs.
Sure. I mean, you don't know how many hits they have until it's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yeah, that's Bon Jovi. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So well, John's son, Jack, married to Millie Bobby Brown.
Now, who is this again? Now, I've heard the name.
Stranger Things, season 5.
Okay.
Millie's the lead, essentially. And
she was also in some of the newer Godzilla movies.
No,
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Okay.
She's in there.
Well, yeah. And they're like, she's 20, I think. And they adopted a kid. So there was some conversation about that. If Jack and Millie had potentially adopted a kid too young.
Well, I think, I think getting married before 30 is crazy, but that's just me.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's very interesting, actually. I think societally, that was very late for a very long time.
There was. My mom got married at 19.
Yeah, and I think that that's completely normal. I mean, you see a lot of folks, tragically, when people pass, you hear married for 70 years to her beloved, you know what I mean? And so it's interesting how society has moved. I think 30, I think you get married when you find the right person. I don't really care if it's 18 or if it's 45.
Listen,
right?
My opinion on marriage is born out of personal experience, and it is and very little.
You weren't ready, is what you were saying.
Well, good news, Doug. I'm 29 and not married yet, so
you're doing fine.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get married before 30.
You're doing fine.
Yeah.
You
Don't
get to know
tell
somebody.
the vice principal.
Well, but I think the vice principal knows how old Mr.
Well,
Gasper
she's 30,
is.
so I mean, You guys can get married next year, and you're
I
good.
mean, I think they can.
Sure.
I mean, I think they're able to whenever they.
Oh, Doug actually said it's outlawed until you're
I didn't
30,
say it's
so-
outlawed. I said if I
you-
could outlaw it, I think it would be. I think it would be beneficial
Yeah.
to society because you'd see
Yeah.
fewer. I think you'd see fewer divorces if people got married a little bit later on in life.
Yeah,
But-
we've also been dating for like a month.
So yeah,
you know,
let's not put that.
That's
pressure-
pretty good.
Let's not
That's
put
pretty
that
good.
on.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
not
good,
put
but
that on Dave. You've been with your girlfriend for what, 2 years now?
yeah, you guys are living together. Yeah. When are you getting the ring?
It's been
Yeah.
over 3 years.
Over 3 years.
Yeah,
But
3
let's not
years
put-
living together.
but
But,
let's
I'm not
I
old
don't-
enough. You heard it here. Doug just said not to.
That's what I'm saying. And for Nick, who's a little bit younger than Dave, I would say even if you've been with your girlfriend for 3 years, to me, just if you wait a little while longer, I think you got to know who you are.
And she's only 22, so I mean, let's be real. It's going to be a while. I'm sorry. Sorry, Abby. Doug just told us.
I think that's
Made my
wise.
life easier.
Sorry, Abby. I mean, but I think that's good for her though too, because I think everybody needs to know who they are. Again, this is born out of personal experience. I said this once to a coworker who then got engaged at like the age of 24, and she did not care for my opinion.
Didn't like that opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
probably.
So that's why.
Hey, you shouldn't have done this. Bad choice.
I didn't say
On my wedding
that. I didn't say that.
There is something to be said about kids and when you can have those, when it's the right window, and the window's shorter than it's ever been nowadays. I don't know
People
if
are
that's
waiting
modern
longer.
medicine.
That's okay.
And there's some issues there. So like you got to balance different things. And some people don't think it's appropriate to have kids unless you're married. So there is that. So there's societal pressures. Long story short, Millie Bobby Brown, who in 2016 was like a 10-year-old on
Yeah.
Stranger Things, is now a 20-year-old.
21.
and has
21-year-old
been married
mom.
and adopted a child.
Okay.
And some have questioned Jack's ability to be a equal parts father. Maybe he's slacking. So Bon Jovi,
Well, I didn't
Jack
know-
Bon
what's that
Jovi.
all about? What?
It's all
Why-
over the
why are
internet.
they questioning-
Paparazzi. She's carrying 40 different things, and he's just
Nick
walking,
dives deep
not
into
doing
Reddit
it.
here, so he knows
Okay.
all.
Not
what's going
diving
on.
into Reddit. I'm all over X,
You were
though, which is
earlier.
probably just as bad.
Yeah. They're probably all just as bad. Let's see.
Yeah.
Madtown Ryan writes on the talking text line, I agree. I'm a totally different person from when I was 25 to now at 36.
That makes sense. You're 11 years older. You should be a different person.
Absolutely. But
It'd be
again,
shocking if you
my
were the
own-
exact same.
My own personal experience is the first time I got married, I was 26, and I was way too young to get married. So, and it didn't
Well,
last.
some people are never ready, right? And some people are born ready. I think just everyone's maturity levels are different.
Yeah. I mean, I have a cousin who got married. She's not even 50 yet, but she got married at 19. They're still together. I mean, it can happen.
Yeah.
It can
The
happen.
high
I'm
school
not saying-
sweethearts, it's certainly possible.
Yeah. I'm not, saying it never happens. I'm just saying that
It takes commitment. It takes
does.
communication. Yeah.
Listen to you.
Yeah. Wise beyond
Well,
my years.
you've been-
A little
We're in
bit,
the
though.
communication business, right?
Yeah, a
Sure, but-
little bit. I kind of have a degree in that, but yeah, I've been in the trenches out here, Doug. Let's put it that way.
I get it. Listen.
I've been forged in the hellscape fire that is the trenches of the dating world. out
I
here.
haven't had a first date in 17 years. So
Oh, that sounds magical, Doug.
it
sounds amazing.
and all I've heard are horror stories.
Yeah,
all I
that's
hear-
largely what it is.
So, Nick, you haven't had a first date in like 3 years. So, how bad was
That's
it when you were? But you were still so young. You were in college when you and your girlfriend
Yeah,
got
I
together.
mean, I had an interesting life. I never really had any relationships like as a kid, like in high school until I was a junior, senior. I didn't really have any girlfriend at any point. It just never really was something I did. But since then, I've been pretty much dating someone straight through for
okay.
Yeah, he
6,
was
7
married
years.
to the grind back
6,
then.
7 years. It's been about 6, 7 years of straight dating.
Oh, so you're a serial monogamist, is what you are.
6, 7.
I have a
Oh,
friend of
God.
mine.
Nick,
who,
stop.
I have a friend that's for 20 years, and he's
Yeah.
gone through. I have to count these up. So 1, 2, 3, now 4 serious long-term relationships.
Okay.
Back to back to back to back.
Well, there's a little bit of overlap, but
Ooh.
but
Yikes.
he's been with his current partner now they've been married for over a decade now. So,
That's good stuff.
but serial monogamist.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
With a couple exceptions,
but just with the overlap, just with a little bit over when one ends, But
Yeah.
I've known the guy through 4 serious. I've never known the guy to be single, not for one
Wow.
day in the 20 years that I've known him.
I made it I was single for 11 months
Okay.
between relationships, and that was it. So
Wow.
fortunate, very fortunate.
Yeah, I've generally gone years, so that sounds great
Well,
for
that's- I
these
mean,
guys. Yeah.
Everyone has a different path.
Yep. Let's see. Jonah in River Falls. Doug Russell, what you saying about getting married at 26? I got married at 26. Okay.
That's right.
Also got
Doomed to fail, according to Doug Russell.
I didn't say that.
No.
I did not.
Did not say doomed to fail.
I just let's see. Well, Madtown Ryan also writes 50% of the time marriages fail. That's true. In my case, yep.
Well, there you
right
go.
there.
You're 50-50, Doug.
You know what I am? I am a statistic.
There we go.
That is what I am. I am a statistic.
More like a stud-tistic.
Hey,
there it is.
But don't.
That's
right.
With that,
That's right.
You know
I
what?
mean,
We're gonna take a short break, and Nick, I want you to think long and hard about what we've done.
Okay. I was gonna say who married to the game.
Well, for the last 5 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
now we're going through divorce.
That marriage might be done, but on to the next, I guess.
Well, like I said, don't do it before you're 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, we got one more segment to go. We'll get it back on the rails, I promise. Or not. Who knows? We got one more segment to go. It's a Friday. Stay with us. DND on the game.
Checks were better than one, a diamond ring, and it was done. Bought her a house like I said I would in a subdivided neighborhood. The views got short and the nights got long. It was over long gone before I knew where I was headed to. I'm going through the big D and don't mean Dallas. I can't believe what the judge had to tell us.
Want to watch DND? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. Drew and KB on The Game.
We're talking with Wayne Larrivee, the voice of the Packers. I know Jordan Love's getting some smoke. What did you think of his play last night, Wayne? Were some of his mistakes preventable? Because I just saw him under siege a little bit and dropping his eyes and maybe not having quite enough time to.
I have never seen him more hesitant with the ball. Again, I couldn't tell if, maybe nobody was open. Maybe that was the deal. And he's just kind of holding on and manipulating the pocket a little bit. But as he did, and then when he finally found someone, by then he's getting hit in the sternum and the pass is off the mark. And we're all saying, what's going on? I think that Philly rush was something that was a factor. They did get 3 sacks. They did hit the quarterback, I believe, 8 times. So, yeah, what you saw, quarterback dropping his eyes, I saw quarterback a little more hesitant. The ball wasn't coming out on the same rhythm it has in the past when they've been effective. And therefore, I think a lot of that goes to Philadelphia. And Vic Fangio just had a great night defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Hafley was in control defensively. I haven't seen the Packers play defensively better than that in a long time.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1971.
February, 4 months after her death, Janis Joplin's album Pearl is released and goes to #1. The single Me and Bobby McGee also tops the chart. Bill Withers hits #3 with the single Ain't No Sunshine from his debut album produced by Booker T. Jones. In March of '71, Carole King releases her first solo album and scores 2 #1 singles, I Feel the Earth Move and It's Too Late. And UK progressive rockers Jethro Tull have a top 10 album on both sides of the Atlantic with Aqua Lungs.
Running down his nose, greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes. Hey, Aqualung.
In April, the Temptations topped the charts with Just My Imagination, their third #1 and their 13th top 10 single. Three Dog Night have their second #1 single with Joy to the World. And the Rolling Stones album Sticky Fingers is released, including the #1 single Brown Sugar.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up.
The Packers are coming off back-to-back losses and will try to get back on track on Sunday against the New York Giants.
I think it's a must-win. I think we put ourselves kind of in a sticky situation, but it is what it is. Things happen. Obviously, everything don't go always as planned that you want it to go sometimes, but you got to make do with the circumstances that you have and the type of environment that it is. So that's just what it is.
We're previewing the matchup all day on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1969.
In May of 69, Neil Young releases his first album with Crazy Horse, Everyone Knows This Is Nowhere, featuring the songs Cinnamon Girl and Down by the River. The Who released the double concept album Tommy, which goes top 10 in the US and the UK.
Even on my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples needed him, and he just does the rest. Stop crazy, flipping fingers, never seen him fall. That gift of a blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
David Bowie's single Space Oddity, released to coincide with the Apollo 11 moon landing, reaches number 5 in the UK. Also in July, Bob Dylan has a top 10 hit with Lay Lady Lay in his new, deeper-sounding vocal style, which he attributes to quitting smoking.
Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big grass bed.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears have a number 2 hit with Spinning Wheel, popularizing the so-called brass rock movement. That includes BST, Chicago, and Electric Flag.
Drop all your troubles on the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1969. Coming up.
I'm Jason Flom, founding board member of the Innocence Project, and my new podcast is Wrongful Conviction, available on iHeartRadio. On Wrongful Conviction, I interview a different exoneree every week and help them to tell their incredible stories of tragedy and triumph against impossible odds. You've got to hear it to believe it. Wrongful Conviction from iHeart Studios, available now on iHeartRadio.
Final segment here on DND. Doug Russell, Nick Brusewitz, Dave Gasper. Kind of an odd week. I feel like the voice has gotten a little bit stronger as the day has gone on, which is a good thing.
That's good. That's
right.
Because I wasn't so sure going into the
microphone heals you.
It does. Who knew?
That's right.
Last couple of days, it wouldn't have. Last couple of days was a struggle. But
we've all been going through it one way or another. I mean, people around us have all been sick, and everyone sees each other. You're going to games where a million different people have been and are.
The hours are weird. Sometimes that doesn't always
very
help.
cold
Don't get the greatest
and wet
sleep
on Monday night. I mean, you were there at a terrible game. That performance by the Packers made you sick.
Well, at least offensively, perhaps. Speaking of which, unnamed in the 715 writes, well, I completely agree with the more aggressive approach in taking deep shots last week. The offensive line wasn't giving anywhere near enough time for those shots to develop. Love the show. Oh, that's Todd in Wausau. Thank you for signing.
Thanks, Todd.
Todd, appreciate that. Not unnamed. That was Todd in Waukesha, or in Wausau, not Waukesha.
No, completely different parts of the state.
Probably a Todd in Waukesha listening right now anyway. Totally. So shout out to him.
My brother had a friend named Todd when we grew up in Waukesha. I don't know whatever happened to him. That was
what's Todd short for?
I think it's just Todd, isn't it?
Just Todd. Todd. Let
me write that down. That's a drop.
That's the Frank Caliendo impression of
speaking of Waukesha.
Mel Kiper, yeah.
Todd short for Theodore. Okay.
Is it?
Really?
I mean,
normally go with Theo, but
I mean, I guess Todd could just be Todd.
Yeah,
comes from the Middle English word Todd, meaning fox.
Ooh.
Okay.
So all Todds out there, you guys are foxes.
Learn something new.
Remember that
every day. So that's Todd in Wausau. Matt in Milwaukee writes, here's an idea. How about we go back to LaFleur's offense in 2023 when Love was under center more, and who gives a poo about Jacobs liking running out of the shotgun? It doesn't work.
That's right.
Yeah, they
We've
were
had
very
some problems with
successful.
running out of the shotgun, around these parts for a couple of years.
Madtown Ryan, why don't we try using the pass game to open up the run game? What are your thoughts there? Yeah, I mean, one plays off of the other. I mean, I think if you have a strong running game, it will help your passing game and vice versa. So I think, but I want them to take more shots downfield. I want them, they've got some home run hitters. At least they've got one home run hitter, and they only went to him once. When they show a propensity to do it more than, once or twice a game, I think that, you can flip the field and keep the defense honest. We haven't seen a whole lot of that in the last several weeks, even when Christian Watson has been back. We've seen it once or twice, and then they get away from that part of their game. If you got a first down, 1st and 10 or a 2nd and 10, just go for it. I think sometimes the play calling is a little bit like on 3rd and short. If you're trying for a fly pattern, if you're trying to hit the home run ball, that's probably not the wisest thing in the world to do. Get a fresh set of downs and maybe have a higher percentage chance at that. But then after that, I mean, if you've got Christian Watson, he's a special player who has elite size, very good speed. You just want him to be a little bit better with the hands and not have the ball bounce off of his helmet when he's trying to play defense because he misread where the ball was going to go. But he should have caught that ball.
Yeah. He even admitted it on Twitter, which you
He
don't
did.
see very often.
You don't. He took ownership of it. So coming up tomorrow, we've got Badgers game day starting at 7 a.m. It's the Badgers taking on the Indiana Hoosiers in Bloomington. Nick, you and Reed Magnum will have the program coming up starting again at 7 a.m. What do you got going on for Badgers game day, getting everyone set for Wisconsin against Indiana?
Well, I think it's going to be a whole different vibe this week. I mean, we've been just kind of going through it, trying to figure out how to be positive about the outlook each and every week. Doesn't help that they're playing an undefeated second-ranked team on the road, but we've seen a win now, and it was over a very well-respected team. Had Washington won at Camp Randall last weekend, we would have been talking about them as a fringe college football playoff team still. Now they're eliminated. You can't come back from losing to Wisconsin. I'm sorry. Odd sentence to have, right? To say you can't come back from losing to Wisconsin. But that's where this program's at this year. So tomorrow morning, I think Reed and I will have bright and early, try and be positive, reflect on what we saw this past week. And we'll have our regular conversations with Jim Polzine and talk about positive. Nick Osen, the ever optimist, and Lance Allen. We'll do our last take with Lance, and we'll hear that conversation we just had with Joe Brunner once again, because that was my favorite one of the week for our player profile.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you spend time on campus every week. I can only imagine how much more, light it felt walking onto the campus, walking into the McLean Center after a win, as opposed to what we've seen the last several weeks and what we've seen really all last season, especially at the second half of last season as well, when things really started to spin out of control a little bit, and you wondered. And granted, it's one win, so I don't want to put too much on one win. But last season, the last 5 games of the year, it was like, when are they going to get it together? Because it had felt like things have just gotten out of control in the wrong direction. And again, I'm not saying that one win can turn everything around, but it's got to start somewhere, and maybe it starts with that.
Yeah, they had lost 5 in a row to end last season, and then you open this year with 2 wins in your bye games, and then you lose 6 in a row. So you're talking about 2-11 in the last 13 games until this past weekend. And all of the losses, you hadn't won a home game. I mean, you hadn't won a home game since last October, and then they finally do so here this past weekend against a Washington team that I think many thought would roll, and they didn't. They did not roll at all. Maybe we thank God for the weather, but the reality was both teams played on the same field in the same elements, and one of them came out on top, and it was the good guys, finally.
And then coming up on Sunday, I'll have Packers game day starting at 8 a.m. live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook in Milwaukee. And listen, I mean, you want to talk about an important game for the Packers. Xavier McKinney called it a must-win. Is this a must-win? Yeah, I think this is a must-win. You don't normally hear of a Week 11 must-win, but I think this really is, because of the rest of the NFC being as top-heavy as it is. If the Packers are going to even just make the playoffs, you've got to beat the bad teams in front of you on your schedule. And that's what the New York Giants are right now. They are a bad football team. They just sacked their coach in Brian Dable. You bring in Mike Kafka, who Wisconsin football fans certainly remember as Northwestern's quarterback, probably more than anything else. But right now, he's going to be the interim coach for the rest of the season. Where they go on a full-time coach, I don't know. Jeff Hafley's name has been mentioned. I think that he's a future head coach in waiting, especially with the way that this year's defense has been playing in Green Bay. So there's a lot riding on this game that you didn't necessarily think there was going to be when the season began. You figured that the Giants weren't going to be very good. I figured that Brian Daboll at the end of last season and maybe Joe Schoen was also I thought they were both going to get fired in the offseason. They probably both deserved to get fired in the offseason, but they kept both of them. And Brian Daboll finally got it on Monday. So it's a situation for Green Bay where, because the offense has played as poorly as they've played, this is a get-right game. This is a game that you have to have. This is a game that you've got to take those shots down the field that we've been talking about. It's a game where you've got to open up some holes for Josh Jacobs. It's a game where you've got to control the clock. It's a game where you have to minimize penalties. And penalties weren't even a problem against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night. It was just seemingly everything else that they couldn't get going on offense. But the penalties came at a bad time. But if you have 4 penalties for 20 yards, which is, I think, what the Packers had, I don't have the stat sheet in front of me, but that seems to be my recollection. I mean, that's not losing football. That's not fatal by any stretch of the imagination. But you've got to play a really clean game. Got to get back to what has made the Green Bay Packers as successful a team under Matt LaFleur in the regular season as they have been. Because, again, with the way that Philadelphia's played, with the way that Seattle has had a glow up, with the way the Rams are playing, with the way that the rest of the NFC North has been playing, which hasn't been great, but it's been better than what the Packers. I mean, they went from first place to third place over the course of 3 hours on Monday night. So it's, again, critical for Green Bay to get right for the rest of their season because they've got a lot of NFC North games coming up.
Yeah, they do. That's what makes this game so important. And that's why, I think they're going to be able to show out here for this game because, as much as we realize it, so do the players, so do the coaches. They recognize the situation that they're in. So I think they're going to end up balling out on Sunday and having themselves a really good game. They're going to be playing a lot cleaner. They only had just 4 penalties in this last game. Now, it was the timing of the penalties that was the real problem for them. But still, I think it's going to be much better for them this week. I think it's going to be something like 35-14, like a Packers win here this week, just because the offense, I think they're going to be able to figure some things out. I think they're going to be able to have some success. Also, maybe a defensive score or 2 in there. Maybe Jameis Winston throws a pick 6. I could see that very, very much being a possibility.
That's right.
So that's where I'm leaning with this game. What's going to end up happening?
Yeah, last year, Jameis came into the post game, stepped up to the podium, and essentially said, I'm praying on God to deliver me from these pick 6s because he has such an issue with them. So,
and then did he throw another one? It's like I don't think he was delivered from them. Sadly.
I can tell you this: there's going to be no hesitation from the passing game and the New York Giants. They're going to take shots, and the Packers better be ready for it, especially those corners we've been giving a lot of credit to: Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon. No Darius Slayton for the Giants. They're top down the field threat wide out, so that's a win. Backup quarterback, as we've already highlighted, Jameis Winston. Packers got to deliver the Packers fans some wins down the stretch here, and this is probably their easiest opportunity to do so in terms of road games. So let's do it.
All right. Again, Packers game day starts at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Badgers game day starts at 7 a.m. on Sunday. You can listen to the Badgers and the Packers in Milwaukee on the big 95.7 FM. You can listen to both in Madison on 1310 WIBA as well as 101.5 WIBA FM. And check your local listings. Is that still a thing? Check your local listings?
I think so, yeah.
Around the state as well. I mean,
yeah, people will understand. Yeah.
So we'll hopefully, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you hope the Badgers win. That would be great.
That would be nice.
That would be, I mean, that's all anybody
would be
talking
unexpected,
about.
but
quite unexpected. But at least, if nothing else, we hope that they have a good showing, and hopefully we'll talk about a big Packers win when we reconvene on Monday. Have a great weekend, boys. We'll talk to you next time on DND.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top police songs that you've thumbed up.